and welcome to episode 118 of Masters of the Forge. I'm here with Jason. Hi, Jason.
Yo, Adam. Hello, everyone else.
Yay! We're talking. But this time remotely. Sad.
Yeah. Sadness.
Sad. But now you'll. One of the big changes in this episode is whenever I have to frantically search for something on the internet in the middle of the show, you'll be able to hear it much better.
I love that keyboard. That reminds me of, when I first started really working with computers and had that big tactile keyboard that you could probably hit with a bat and it would just dent the bat.
Fantastic. I love it. I love it. I'm Wendy says I'm gonna come home and it'll be gone one day. That's fine. That's fine. And it doesn't have a numpad, which I know
that bothers me, but it doesn't bother everyone.
I mean, I used to do a lot of number crunching and stuff.
Yeah.
But I really don't do that crap anymore. If I miss it, I'll buy a separate numpad, which you can do.
Oh, okay.
And that way you can set it aside when you're not using it.
Oh, that's cool.
These days you have so many USB ports, it's crazy. So, Jason, what have you been up to for games played and hobby progress? You been busy?
Yeah, actually, I've been busy. If you all listened to the last episode, I was in upstate New York, wandering through the Hudson River Valley, et cetera, Capital District. So I actually played a few games. Like our last episode we recorded with Mike, and right after that we went and played a narrative game. So it was one of those, I guess it's one of those things where it's like, let's just throw this down, narrative only. Let's go with the power level. I think about 25-ish is where we went. And so I had my Inquisitor and my Deathwatch Assassins versus Dante and his plucky band of Blood Angels. Wow. Okay. First of all, in that setting, Dante's powerful anyway. We took Dante down, but the yeah, that was pretty cool. I mean, I lost almost my entire team, and I think we called it. I think I might have lost my entire team. I don't remember, but the Calexis Assassin, he had a librarian, and the Calexis Assassin actually stopped aiming at the librarian just to use him as a battery to shoot everybody else. It was a tactic I had not thought of, because normally, the Calexis is there to take out the Psychers. But then I was like, no, wait a minute, I can just, that became really funny. That was a really amusing thing to do. And plus, it gave me a chance to expand the narrative of my Inquisitor in that group. And then the next,
that sounds like it was fun, like a Hero Hammer game,
yeah. Oh yeah, it was definitely a Hero Hammer game. And those are the type of games I really dig. Hero Hammer, Kill Team. Small. I like Epoch games. I like the 2,000 point game or 100 power level games, whatever. But I really do enjoy those small games because there's a low model count, and because my time sometimes is. There are times I can play, games for an entire day, and there's sometimes where it's like, I got an hour, or I might have an hour and a half, and I gotta, get things through. So, but yeah, it was a nice Hero Hammer game, and I'm hoping. Well, we'll talk more about Kill Team and maybe Hero Hammer later. Then I also played against Necrons with Mike, another Mike.
Yeah, that was on we got together on Monday at the game store as well. After a harrowing drive through the country.
That was a fun drive, man. I enjoyed that. I had not been in that part of what was it, Rensselaer County?
Rensselaer County.
Yeah. So that was pretty nice. I knew that area was beautiful. I'd driven through a couple of back areas, but man, I was just kind of clueless as to where we were. At one point, I was like, Go ahead.
I basically just headed east and then turned on the GPS. Okay, I think we've driven far enough. Let's turn on the GPS now.
Yeah, otherwise it sends us back to Troy, and yeah. Troy's Troy. All right. So yeah, I played against Mike. It was an open war game. Another narrative type game. I had only my Raven Guard, but for fun, I went and put my Inquisitor and her, captain, second in command, as like holograms throughout the board, which I thought was kind of funny. It gave me a chance to get a little bit more background and a little more narrative interest, backstory for her. Mm-hmm. All right, so those are the two games I played. I'm supposed to go play a game this afternoon. Oh. I know it's 100 power level. I think I'm just I didn't unpack my models, so I'm just taking what I've got with me. We'll see what happens. So,
yeah, you've got enough in there that you can get a game, pull a game together.
Oh yeah, we're doing 100 power level. I think I've got 125 or 130 in there, maybe. I don't know. Yeah, I've got enough. I'm not terribly worried. So those are the games. Let's wander on to other fun stuff. Armigers. So I have a few armigers. We'll leave it at that. I have 3 that have been built, and I went ahead and base coated them. And I've been trying to figure some things out with my airbrushing. I've got this really cool blue-black scheme, and I dig it, but it's not that close to my current Raven Guard scheme. And so I'm trying to figure out, how to work all that. So I decided I'm going to use this blue-black. This is going to be a rough one. This scheme for my knights and any mechanical allies they have. And so, anyways, they're base coated in blue-black. I've just got to do details on them. They've also have white shoulder blades. I'm trying to keep it Raven Guard affiliated. So that one's done. I have a Deathwatch kill team that I was building way before kill team was even announced. It's finally finished being built. It's base coated metal accents. I still have to do details. It's all combi meltas because I want it to be I just wanted to basically take out characters as part of this Inquisitor, Ordo Chronos Inquisitor I have.
Saving them from the future.
That's right. Oh, that background on that Inquisitor is going to be as radical, It's like, is this a radical or a Puritan? I was like, I'm pretty sure she's a radical, but, we'll see. Let me see. Raven Guard, I decided to go to an executive decision and stay with the gray-black scheme because the blue-black, was just a bit too... It was a bit too jarring, and it was kind of bothering me. Okay. So, and that's fine because I'm not terribly worried about it. I've learned enough about the airbrush that I think I can go ahead and reproduce my old scheme using the old Raven Guard scheme using the airbrush. All right, and the last thing, kill team, which is what we're talking about today a lot. I had what was it, this past year, they released that 30th anniversary Vet Sergeant Intercessor model, and a lot of people didn't like it. Because
it's just a dude, right?
Yeah, it's a dude.
Basically just a dude. Yeah.
Yeah, and I didn't particularly like it, but I'm also a fanboy, and I picked one up. Oh
yeah, I picked one up too.
Yeah. Okay, well, good. I'm glad I'm in good company.
I did mine with, I made him into a Hellblaster Sergeant. So I didn't use either of the arms that it came with. Well, I think I used the pistol. Anyways, one he's got a plasma pistol and a plasma and the plasma rifle thing.
Oh, okay. Oh, that'd be pretty nice.
Yeah, he looks cool.
Well, I decided for this guy, and we'll talk about in the rules in a little bit. I want him to go ahead and be like the leader, because he's a vet sergeant, of my Deathwatch kill team for the kill team game. It gets complicated. Well, not really, but whatever. So I built the 30th anniversary guy. I added some bits. I gave him a command squad backpack topper and a Deathwatch shoulder pad, and a power sword from, I think it's the Berserker kit. It's a curved sword, and
yeah, those are cool. The curved chain swords, I like those chaos bits.
Yeah, that's kind of one of my favorite bits is that curved sword. What was it?
Yeah,
I found a bit seller who he either had 21 or 22 of them in stock, so I bought them all, like every one of them. So I have 21 of them. So
you just have to file off the chaos symbol on some of them.
I'm just gonna slap purity seals on them.
There you go.
I mean, I could. I have gone through and carved it off, but this time, because the way of where it was set, I just flipped it over and it hid the chaos part, and then I slapped a purity seal to give it some sort of detail, so it wasn't just a flat area. That
totally won't get caught in the chains. It's all good.
Yeah,
it's pure.
So not a major kit bash, but there's some. I blinged him out a little bit. And last night I built a comms backpack conversion for my comms guy.
For your comms guy.
Yeah.
Comms guy is good.
Just a Voxcaster and a Space Marine backpack, and I shaved them down and put them together. So I've done that one. I've done that conversion like 10, 15 times. It's not too difficult. So
cool.
But that was my hobby, which there was a bit. What about you, man?
Yeah. Well, I've been busy, been keeping busy.
Yeah.
We just started the Summer 40K matched play league at the store.
Yeah.
So we're going 6 weeks over 8 weeks. We're doing 6 games over 8 weeks with 2 makeup sessions on a Saturday and a Sunday.
Okay.
So I think we've got a handful of people in that. Hoping to get some more folks in there. I know people really like events. They like it's kind of a sign that things are, still in action.
Mm-hmm.
So people like to see events, even if they don't attend them. They like to see that they're happening.
Right.
So we're doing that, and it's started off pretty well. We're having good fun with that. We're just using the ITC Champions missions. It's definitely a matched play type situation.
Yeah.
But we're still going to do like a hobby score. We're still going to do all that. So that should be fun. I'm letting people swap out like 1 unit per week.
Oh, okay. That's
weird.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know what other people do, but I think that, just to keep things, give people a little bit of variety.
Right.
I mean, I don't want people using a totally different list every week. That's not very matched play.
No, it isn't.
Friendly, but swapping out 1 unit isn't a big deal. So that's an ITC event. So if anybody out there is listening and wants to join us, it's definitely not too late, because you can not only can you skip 2 weeks, but we also have 2 makeup weekends. So you should technically have a padding of 4 weeks worth. So
yeah, that's pretty good actually.
Yeah, I think so. Hobby-wise, I mean, I've been playing games too. Like, I've been using my Imperial Knights and not doing too bad. I've been on Alexis's channel, the Ego Queen Alexis channel, a couple times with those. Having fun with my Knight Gallants. So much fun. Hobby-wise, I finished those Blood Boys and Weird Horrors that we were talking about the last time.
Right.
I got those painted up, and also the Herald of Mork. Which is that big conversion I was working on. That's all finished,
right, and
ready to go. So I've added those to my list. Though Age of Sigmar 2nd edition really has like that mixed chaos list. It's just terrible. It's so bad. So like super bad. Like even someone like me who isn't expecting to win hardly any games, I'm like, oof.
Yeah.
Oof. This mixed chaos thing is just not great. So I think I might. I've been playing with my Seraphon. We've been doing some Path to Glory, which is super cool. Path to Glory is super cool. You kind of do random unit generation with random abilities. I think Mini Wargaming did that a few times.
Yeah, they did it a couple of times. I know with 40K, and I think they did the Sigmar version too. I don't remember.
Yeah, Sigmar, I think it was originally a Chaos only thing for Sigmar and maybe 40K back during Christmas one year.
Yeah.
And where now they have a whole Path to Glory book that includes all of the factions. So I bought that off of the app for $10, like the Age of Sigmar app. It's really, the app has improved a great deal because you can just go through and it just automatically opens the stuff. Before, that was only available for iPhone. Like the full featured version was only available for iPhone. Now it's the full featured version is available for Android as well. So you just you click on the models you want in your list, you add it to your game, and you open up your game, and everything is available there. And you just look at the war scrolls. It's really great. The only thing it doesn't include is all the faction rules. You need a book for that.
Okay.
Yeah, it's really, really good. I also built and painted the kill team terrain. We'll talk a little bit more about that later. Yeah. I'm also going to be writing an article. It'll be more of a like picture slideshow than anything else, with tips underneath each picture.
Okay.
For Frontline Gaming, I'll get that up there. I don't know if I said anything about it last time, but I finished the Golden Spear Cup GT website. It's basically just a Bootstrap theme set on Drupal. Yeah. And I got a dedicated server for that. I think I did talk about that, but I have a dedicated server for that now. And that's really cool.
Yeah.
Ralph said he might help with it, but I don't know. We'll see. Because I'm probably going to use it for other stuff too.
Yeah.
I talked to Snorri recently, and he's still cool with, hosting our site for this show. But, if at any time he doesn't want to do that, I should be able to also stand up a site there, just in case. But we have multiple contingencies for multiple things, so that's good.
That's good, yeah.
Yeah, it was a nice project, but it took a long time. It was a lot of work. Even though I did just basically use the default Bootstrap theme, there's a lot of stuff that still needs to be done to get it to fit. And also all the logic for how the events show up on the site and how all the pages for all the events are related to each other.
Yeah.
And the pictures and everything, how it shows up. That was most of the work. And then we have a list. I have a list submission form and a picture submission form, so people can submit their lists and stuff for these events. I should have had people do it for the league, even though they can change it, just to test it out. But I'm having people use it for the team tournament I have coming up in August. So I need to send out, maybe after this, I need to send out a reminder to everybody to sign up for that. What else? I built I worked on the Toys for Tots charity. I built all the main, most of the flesh tears were built. I just had some shoulder pads and stuff to add on. This is for the Toys for Tots charity for the freebooters.
Yeah.
So there are a few things we're gonna follow as close to the GW painting method as possible, which is going to be tough for me because edge highlighting is dumb. I found the scheme on the Paint app, which is nice, so I can refer to that and all the colors. And Duncan has a video for painting the red, which is nice, so I'll look at that. I might also go back and try to find whatever video Duncan has for edge highlighting and try to figure it out.
Yeah, I get it.
The last time I tried to do it for Frontline Gaming, I was like, this looks like Tron. I don't like it.
Yeah.
So we'll see. But one thing that was really nice about this was it prompted me to buy a new compressor. I still can't do it indoors because I don't have a vent.
Yeah.
And the paint will just get everywhere. And all I have is that Iwata Eclipse. So it has 2 speeds, no flow, and 100% flow.
Really?
Well, okay, I don't really... Okay, the reason is because I had to use alcohol as my mixer instead of something else.
Right.
Because I just didn't have anything. I didn't have anything else. I didn't have another thinner here, and I didn't feel like going out and buying one. So it dries up so fast. It's super fast drying, so it gets gunked up pretty quickly. And I need to get some more lubricant for it too. It just kind of sticks.
Yeah.
So that's a whole thing. But anyways, it doesn't matter. I got those base coated so fast.
Right.
So fast. I got the black down on the shoulder pads and the backpacks and everything. And then and all the parts that were supposed to be black. And then I started painting the silver, and I'm like, what am I doing wrong here? And then I realized that like block painting the silver is just a bad idea on Space Marines. Normally I dry brush my orcs with the silver after spray painting them brown.
Right.
But I figured with the Space Marines, I would just block in the silver and wash it with the rest of the model with the Nuln Oil. But I think what I need to do is I need to go back and block paint all the silver parts black first and then put on the silver.
Yeah.
That's what someone else suggested, and so I think that's what I'm going to do. I do have a small brush I can use to dry brush those small areas if I need to. But I think I need to go back and actually go back with the black and paint them black before I go on with the silver. It's been a long time since I painted Space Marines, and I did paint the red and then spray painted gloss coat over it.
Right.
And that was interesting because I think it did. I don't know. I think it's a little different than with orcs because the crevasses aren't as pronounced. So I hope it'll be okay. Well, it's got to be okay. I'm not scrubbing these, so it's gonna work one way or the other. And I want to say thanks to Ben. Ben is going to be 3D printing a turret for this old, I think, second edition.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have a Predator that has heavy flamer turrets, and Ben's going to 3D print us a turret that will swap out a Flamestorm cannon or a twin assault cannon. That'll be nice. I certainly... There's literally no bit out there that'll fit, like no legitimate GW bit that'll do that. So, barring actually buying an entire new, why?
Yeah.
So, that's good. I wouldn't 3D print a whole model, but I already have most of the model. I just need the turret. So I don't really feel bad about that. That's going to be really nice. I need to send him a picture, actually, I might put like a 50 millimeter base in the turret hole so that he knows how big to make it.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Happy with the new compressor. It doesn't, like, drown out the noise of the entire neighborhood when I run it, so that's super nice. Right?
Yeah.
After that, I'm planning Curran's Skaven Guard. So he gave me his entire box of Skaven Guard as trade.
Yeah.
For me to paint as trade for replacing my hot water heater and my water filter and my one of the faucets in my shower.
Okay.
So that was a lot of work he did for me over the course of a couple days.
Yeah.
So, and as a licensed plumber, that's, he saved me buckets of money on that. So, I'm going to be finishing up the paint work on some of his Skaven Guard and then totally painting some more of his Skaven Guard.
Cool.
These guys are really cool. I'm not going to talk about it now because I haven't totally read his lore. I might have him come on maybe I'll just have him come on when I hand him over, and he can talk about it. He gave me the lore. He gave me a write up on the lore and a list. But I think maybe it would be more fun if we rapped about it together.
Yeah.
And figured out what he wants specifically. It's really cool. The idea he has. Yeah. Like they're all rat bits, and his Imperial Knight is a giant rat with a fist and a chainsaw. It is awesome. I'm gonna have a lot of fun painting that. But first, this commission has to go first. And I've also been doing. I'm trying to get my buddy Mike. Well, we're trying to get a lot of people into Age of Sigmar. We've been having them over to my house to play.
Yeah.
And my buddy Mike, he's got an entire 2,000 points of, or no, 3,000 something points of vampire counts and stuff.
Whoa.
Of death. Yeah, he's got a lot. Most of it is unassembled.
So it's still new in box.
He got into it. Yeah, he got into it when it was still square base. So we went to the store and I caused him to make bad decisions, and to get back at me, he bought me a starter of Caradron Overlords. So.
Oh, that's funny.
Joke's on me. So,
so
we're gonna. I think we're gonna hobby together.
About. Keep going.
Yeah, we're gonna hobby together today.
Yeah.
Yeah. Some jerkwad left me a box of freaking Savage Boar Boys in my freaking upstairs. So someone's a jerk.
Well, you kept bragging about I'm done with my orcs, and I just kind of thought, no, you're not. But I'm not going to tell you that yet. Because I picked that up on I think Saturday when we were there, during the APOC game. And I was like, he's not looking. Okay, I can go ahead and put this in my bag. Yeah, he's not looking. All right, cool.
Speaking of no one's looking. So what I think I might do with those Boar Boys actually is build a couple of chariots.
Oh.
So I might do a Tzeentch Chariot and a Khorne Chariot. The Tzeentch Chariot, it'll look very much like the. I'll probably make it look a lot like the Herald of Mork that I just did.
Right.
And I forget what the name of the Tzeentch Chariot is. I think there's a couple of them. I think there's a Flamer Chariot and a Seeker Chariot, so I'm not sure which I'm going to do.
Okay.
We'll see. I want people to be able to see it. I think I want to do the Flamer Chariot because I would love to have an orc boar boy riding up there with the boars in front, but he'll have green flames shooting out of his mouth. I think that would be super cool. And
are you gonna name him Rudolph?
What I can, right? Well, what I think I can do is I can feed a wire through his body and out of his mouth, so that the flames don't kind of fall off. Instead of just gluing the flames onto his mouth,
that's a good idea.
I can drill a hole and feed a heavy gauge wire through his face and out his mouth, and then out, projecting out in front.
Yeah.
And that should be fine, because the head is I think the head is in two pieces. I can drill a hole down the middle of his body. And the mouth is always, the mouths on those Savage Boys are actually open, and they're so that their tongues can stick out. Their tongues are attached to their necks.
Oh.
And you usually feed the mouth through the tongue. So I'll just clip off the tongue, drill a hole down the body, and then stick the wire through the mouth, and then just start green stuffing flames onto that wire. So I think that's the Tzeentch one, and then the Khorne one will just be a Throne of Skulls. And that'll be fine.
Oh yeah, this sounds amazing. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, that'll work great. I think there are 12 boars or something. There's a lot of boars, so there'll probably be boars left over. So we'll see. It'll be fun. I might just need more boars, to be honest. What else?
Yeah, done with your orcs, huh?
Oh yeah, I've been building. Yeah, I hate you. And I've been building some Sigmar with Mike, like I said. So I'll probably, when he's going to come over today, and instead of messing with this Blood Angels project, I think I'm just going to build that. I'm going to build that Caradron Overlord starter with him.
Okay.
I do need to go to the store and pick up a new wet palette, and I need to pick up some baking things, because I made some tarts for Geekend, which is coming up this week, and those came out pretty okay. I just need bigger tart tins. I just did little tart tins. I used cupcake tins, and that's just not. They're too small for tarts, so I need to pick up another silicone tart tin. The cool thing is, though, those silicone tins actually I can use those for doing 40K stuff if I really want to. I could use those as molds for
that'll work.
So that's interesting. It occurred to me that I could buy silicone casting kits and do fun baking things with those, because they bake like silicone. You can bake silicone.
Yeah.
And it's fine. So I'm just thinking about that. So I'm going to be going to Hobby Lobby today and picking up some extra fun things. But that's it for me. I think like I said, I've been playing and I've been building and I've been painting and just keeping it going. I think it's a lot of fun. So we have Beyond the Fringe. I have a Beyond the Fringe.
Yeah.
My Beyond the Fringe is Couch to 5K. It's a nice app. Yesterday was the first day. I think it's the end of the 5th week, where normally it's been doing intervals of jogging and walking.
Mm-hmm.
Yesterday was the first day there was no
intervals.
There was no intervals. He's just like, okay, you've been walking for 5 minutes. Now you get to jog the whole rest of the time until cooldown. I was just, oh no. So yeah, that was tough, but I've taken off a lot of weight from it, actually. Like I swim I usually swim every day.
Yeah.
But it's good to mix it up,
right,
and do different exercises. And also the weight loss, I noticed I played horseshoes for the first time in a long time at my company picnic on Friday. And my horseshoe game has improved a lot because of the strength I've gotten from swimming and the not having a gut in the way when tossing the shoe.
Yeah. So
I'm super stoked about that. That made me feel really good.
Good deal, man. Good.
Yeah.
All right. So
what do you have for Beyond the Fringe?
My Beyond the Fringe. Furniture dollies and freight elevators. So I had 2 offices last year, and one was, well, hold on. Neither one of them was great. One had suspicious stains all over the floor. And the other one was not large enough for me to actually meet with people, which is what I had the office for. So anyway, I ended up moving out of one of them into a new office. Well, this past a couple of days ago, I was contacted and said, "Hey, we need office space. You really don't need this one anymore, do you?" And I said, "You know what? You guys can have it. I really don't want it. It's funky." And so I ended up having to move all of my stuff out of there on Friday, and so moved it all into my car, moved it about 60 miles to my other office, and then just wheeled it up the freight elevators. So that was kind of nice. That is definitely my Beyond the Fringe, because carrying those boxes up 2 flights of stairs, not happening. So
no.
So
I think Blake and Ed just bought a like a dolly for hauling their audio equipment.
It's a good idea.
It is. We should get in on that Patreon thing. No. So that's awesome.
Yep.
So today's episode is Kill Team.
Hold on.
Thank you. So first of all, what?
Don't we need to do announcements or?
Oh yeah, we need to do some announcements.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Sorry.
Hey Jason.
Yo.
Did you know that the Nova Open Charitable Foundation returns for its summer 2018 raffle season with 22 raffles this summer?
Really?
Yeah. There are 8 armies, 2 detachments, 12 models, including Forge World Warhound Titan.
Oh, yeah. All right.
Yeah, it's all to support charities including Doctors Without Borders, Breast Cancer Research Foundation, and the Fisher House Foundation. You know what I like about Breast Cancer Research Foundation, the BRCF?
What do you like?
It actually supports actual research.
Oh, okay.
It's not aware. I mean, awareness is great. Awareness is important, but I think we're all aware. You know, I think we're aware. So BRCF actually researches cancer. And, you know, some people make light of, breast cancer research is, you know, it's only popular because men are pigs. Well, let's be honest. It doesn't matter what kind of cancer research. Cancer research is cancer research. Let's figure out ways of eliminating it. And who gives a crap? Let's save some lives here. Okay.
Yeah.
Anyways, and of course, Doctors Without Borders and Fisher House are also extremely important charities.
Yes.
It's excellent. So there are some important things to note. These are raffles, not auctions. So everyone with a ticket has a chance to win. I love that about the Nova Open Charitable Foundation.
Yeah.
The tickets can be purchased from anywhere in the world. You don't have to be at the Nova Open in order to win. It's at the novaopenfoundation.org. They'll ship anywhere in the world with a valid mailing address. Tickets are either $2 or $5. It may not be limited, or may not be limited. So some of them are limited, and some of them there's a set number, and that's it. So their aim is to actually send 95 cents on every dollar spent on raffle tickets to the charities designated. The other 5 cents goes to covering PayPal fees and shipping costs and whatnot.
Yeah. Okay.
So you know, they're a nonprofit. A lot of I think all of these like materials and people's time are all donated. Okay, so these people are just taking time out of their lives to do this for people.
Yeah.
The tickets are already on sale. They started July 1st. They finish at noon on September 2nd. The drawing will be done and announced on September 2nd at the Nova Open Tabletop Wargaming Convention. Final award ceremony. It's in September. I don't think I can go again this year. It's near my birthday, and we got a bunch of stuff going on in October, so I don't think I would love to go down for at least just a day.
Yeah.
But we'll see. The winners will be contacted individually the following days and announced on the NOCF Facebook page. Just follow that page to see what's going on, and it's a good reminder, you know, of when the raffles are, and reminder to actually buy tickets if you don't have the scratch today.
Right.
Just go on and follow the Nova Open Charitable Foundation Facebook page. You also, you know, see pictures of these beautiful armies. We've got 30K Iron Warriors, 30K World Eaters, 40K Death Watch, 40K Ultramarines, a Hordes Trollkin army, an Affinity Yujing army, Star Wars Legion force, Star Wars X-Wing force. There's also 2 detachments, a Dark Age Brute Court of Freeton, Wrath of Kings Celestial Host.
Right.
There's also 12 individual models. So these are models that are painted to single model character standard. I strongly recommend folks check out these models online. You have your 30K Nathaniel Gara.
Oh, that could be interesting.
Yeah, that'll be popular.
Yeah.
Those tickets are going to go. 30K and 40K Warlord Titan, which is insanity. That thing is gonna. So there's this whole story of how that went. I think Dave was on Independent Characters. I would check out the most recent Independent Characters he was talking about it. 40K Blood Angel versus Death Guard diorama. 40K Bolt Pistol prop, which is awesome. 40K Hive Tyrant, a 40K Mortarion, a 40K Trahan Valoris.
Okay.
A 40K, he's a, what do you call it? The
Custody, right?
Custodes, yeah. Custodes character. 40K Ultramarine Primaris Captain, Cool Mini or Not Red Bull, Dark Sword Frog Jester, a Reaper Orc Berserker, Star Wars X-Wing Darth Vader.
Ooh.
Also, besides those raffles, they'll once again conduct a silent auction at Nova Open. Just stop by and make a bid on some of the crazy stuff that people bring for the auction. Nova Open Charitable Foundation began operating in 2013. Its mission as a nonprofit is fundraising to demonstrate the compassion and generosity of worldwide tabletop wargamer community. To date, they have over $130,000 donated to these charities. So go on and support it. It's a bunch of great causes. These people really give from their heart and make it worth their while by going on and donating. I'm gonna do it right after this show. So we also have coming up, we have the Albany Exterminatus team tournament. Mm-hmm. We still have tickets available for that. Go to the Golden Sprue Cup GT.com and there are. You could also open it up in your if you have the Best Coast Pairings app. It's on there. It's coming up in August. Also, you want to check out this month's Altar of War episode,
yes,
where I have a 3-game narrative, well, somewhat narrative. I have a 3-game kill team game with Josh, and that was a lot of fun. I just finished editing it for content this morning, and you're working on getting the sound right.
Yeah.
There were a lot of issues for that time of day. We get a lot of traffic, so I sent it over to Jason to hopefully have it kind of fixed up a little bit. I know that folks, there's no way to get rid of all of that, but at least we can send a pass through and have our voices be somewhat even with each other. But I think that's it. This episode is Kill Team. So I hope you enjoy it. Let's have some messages before we continue our show.
Hey everyone, just wanted to let you know about the Show Me Showdown, which is an ITC Grand Tournament held in Kansas City, Missouri, on July 21st and 22nd, 2018, and is being held at Staley High School in North Kansas City. The event is being held to raise money for 2 student programs, FBLA, the Future Business Leaders of America, and DECA, Marketing and Entrepreneur Program. These 2 student organizations raise money each year to help with student activities and programs that prepare kids for business careers. All the rules and information for the event can be found at their website, www.showmeshowdownt.com, or on Facebook at Show-Me Showdown GT. Just a reminder, location is Staley High School in Kansas City, Missouri. 40 players, match play of 2,000 points. The entry fee is $30, and the format is the ITC 2018 Tournament Pack. One last time, www.showmeshowdownt.com. Thanks.
Are you looking for a pressure-free hobby Facebook group? Hobby Streak. Are you looking for a community where you can keep your hobby progress on track? Hobby Streak. Do you want a Facebook group that focuses on all aspects of the hobby? Hobby Streak. Hobby Streak is a Facebook group for building, painting, list building, playing games, and everything in between. Hobby Streak. Post daily updates showing or telling about your progress for friendly and helpful support from a great community. Try Hobby Streak today.
Hello everyone. The Masters of the Forge is now a proud member of the NPC, the Narrative Podcast Consortium. Our aim is to inspire your hobby through the rich lore of the 41st millennium. If you enjoy our podcast, then make sure to check out these other awesome shows where you can get coverage on campaigns, Black Library, and all kinds of general topics of the 40K background.
The NGC 40K podcast also provides in-depth campaign coverage, audio dramas, and free-flowing narrative campaign creation.
The Adeptus Terra podcast also features in-depth discussions of the lore and commentary on the hobby.
Oh, and sexy English voices.
Oh, yeah.
The Masters of the Forge brings the world of 40K to life on your tabletop, with discussion on the lore, backed up by narrative-themed rules and battle reports.
Of course, this is only a fraction of the topics covered by the podcasts of the NPC. Please tune in to find out more. And welcome back. So, we're going to talk about Kill Team. And this is what, the On Your Tabletop segment? So, what...
Yeah, well, yeah, it is. And thank you, dude, thank you so much to GW for giving us this box.
Oh,
right?
Yeah. Yeah, this has been amazing. Just, reading about it, seeing the pictures, seeing what's in there. My only...
They sent it to us way early, too, this time. Where before we've complained, hey, I have no shame in complaining that this stuff doesn't come soon enough.
Right.
I understand that they want to nip any leaks in the bud, but at this point we should have been able to have filtered out all the jerks who share stuff too early.
Right.
And to be honest, like it's nice to get it early so we can get these episodes out without having to rush.
Right.
We just don't have the time to rush. So thank you so much for sending this stuff early, community team.
Yes.
It's just great.
Just a quick note for all of our listeners. We actually got ours before the GW shops got them.
Yep.
I have a couple of friends who manage the shops, and I happened to go talk to them, and I said, well, yeah, we just, we've had it for a week now, and they all said, really? We don't have our shit.
Yeah, no, I mean, we were able to play. We actually got a game in on Tabletop Simulator.
Yep.
And that was, it's so much better than, playing 40K on Tabletop Simulator is fine. We can do it every once in a while if we've got 6 hours. But when it comes to Kill Team, that is way easier. I suspect we'll be doing that more in the future.
And I guess one of the things we want to talk about during this segment is, what is Kill Team and whatnot. And I've played a lot of different versions of it, and this is my favorite. Yeah. My only complaint about getting the rules so early is I see people get onto Facebook and start talking about, well, I bet it does this and I bet it does that, and all I want to do is say, just wait. Someone was complaining about the D10 system. It's like, oh, they're going to tear everything apart, and I wrote out a reply, and then I deleted it, and then I wrote another one, and I deleted it, and I just wanted to reach through the screen and strangle the person.
Because even if they did significantly change things, it's like, come on, give it a chance before you don't even know what it's about. Right.
I've seen all this speculation, and I can't say anything about it, but I want to say you're going to like it, but...
Yeah.
Anyway, so shall we start off our segment then? Yeah.
Yeah, let's do it, dude.
All right. So what is Kill Team? I managed to actually play quite a bit. Whenever I first got involved in playing 40K, I was still working on my dissertation, and so I had no time to play a 2,000 point 5-hour game. Yeah. And I could sit there and play a small Kill Team game in, 30 minutes? Maybe 2, maybe 3, and then I'd have to go back to work. And so I like Kill Team because of that. Plus, I like the low model count and all that. I think that's fun. So throughout the editions, though, Kill Team in Edition 4 was... What was that exactly, if I remember? It was like a small Kill Team versus a guard enclosure, if I remember right. So you have maybe... Yeah, your small kill team.
You took one unit.
Yeah.
It wasn't even, you didn't even mix and match.
Right. Okay, so that was that. You didn't mix and match at all. And that's actually how 6th edition was as well. You didn't mix and match, or the points were set so low that you couldn't mix and match. You couldn't go through and do certain things, or at least with Space Marines. 7th edition was really just kind of a rehash of 6th, with a little bit of expansion, a little bit of a campaign, but not... There wasn't a whole lot that you could do, at least as a Space Marine player. I think I played a game or two of Shadow Wars, but I didn't particularly like it because, one, it was at the end of 7th edition, and it was a 7th edition rule set, and I didn't want to play Scouts, because reasons.
I played quite a bit of Shadow War. We had a Shadow War league at the club, and it was fun, and it gave you all the things that you didn't get out of previous kill teams.
Right.
You could mix and match units. You didn't have to take all of the same kind of unit. But it did have problems where allowing big high it still allowed you to take characters and some of the more powerful units. Yeah. And I think that caused balance issues in the game, especially things like the solitaire and the assassins and stuff. Like they rolled train on other smaller units, and you don't have that problem in the new kill team.
Yeah, that's one of the things I noticed as I've been reading through is that the units are limited, but they're limited in a way that promotes a lot more balance, to be honest. And there's some things that go ahead.
Go ahead.
Oh, well, I was going to say before, like, whenever I played during 6th edition, you could run Assault Marines, or I think they were Assault Marines. It may have been Vanguard Vets. I don't remember exactly. And I liked playing that way because, it's assault, jump packs jumping around, basically grasshoppers, essentially. And I thought that was fun. And that's not currently in the rules set, but that could be in an expansion later, I believe.
Yeah, and you can do they really want to curb anybody getting too much of an alpha strike on you.
Right.
I think the closest ones are the Harlequins, but even they're bound to the ground, right? So they're definitely trying to avoid all that jumping around and being wherever you want to be at any given time. They want you to work for it and plan ahead. So before we start getting into how the game plays, let's talk about, I just want to remind people that you can still go onto the Warhammer community site, and they're giving lots of previews and stuff about each of the factions in specific. Like, we don't have time to go through every faction, but Games Workshop has created articles for each faction, and they're talking about the rules. They have an interview with Wade Price, one of the lead designers of the game, and he goes into kind of the thought process behind how they put the game together. So I strongly recommend that. Also, I'm sure Warhammer TV is going to have a lot of coverage for Kill Team.
Oh, yeah.
The fact that they sent this to us so early really makes me think that they're super committed to this game and getting it out there. The same people who did Shadespire did this game.
Yeah.
So I think they definitely want you to play this and get into it. So.
Well, after seeing the products that have been announced, like what is it? They have like special boxes that you can actually take. That that's the new. I mean, it's merchandise. Yeah, we're selling you something, but that's also support. And then seeing what is it? All the terrain that's mixed with picking up. Was it essentially troop boxes or kill team boxes? I think that there's a lot more product support, which means I think that, as you said, they're going to run with it. I think they saw what happened with Shadespire and said, "Hey, we can do this." And I'm really excited about that. If I can, as we've realized, I do travel a bit. It's a lot easier for me to throw a small box of minis in my backpack than, hey, I'm going to take my KR backpack and then I got to do all my work stuff too. So I'm really excited. If this is really well supported, that's going to make it easier for me to get a lot of games in. So
yeah, I could almost see if Kill Team takes off, I could almost see it helping Shadespire as well.
Yeah,
if people get more into playing these smaller games, maybe they'll be more interested in doing other small games as well.
Right. Like
So why don't we?
Oh, go ahead.
Oh, go ahead.
No. I mean, I was thinking. I think we talked about this later. Is what with this being set up the way it is, I'm much more interested in building a lot of small, individualized, kit bashed kill teams, But we'll talk about that more. I think I actually
Yeah,
typed that down in our notes later.
Yep. Absolutely. So why don't we talk about Kill Team and how it plays?
Yeah.
So I almost wanted to go over the box first, but I feel like just saying what it is, and so everybody knows what we're talking about.
Yeah.
I think that's probably the right way to go here. So I'll start us off.
Yeah.
So it's played on. I believe that it was play tested, and it was like the rules were adjusted to accommodate the board that comes with the game.
Okay.
I would not want to set this up on a 3 foot by 3 foot board. I would not want to set this up on a 4 foot by 4 foot board, certainly.
Right.
I think that would be too big a play space to play this game on. It very much makes sure that you can't just sit there with a sniper and kill the enemy team. It's definitely a tactic you can try. I think looking at these rules that it's going to be very, very difficult to do that.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to want to get stuck in and kill. And some of the missions actually make it hard. The game that we played made that hard.
Oh yeah.
To do. So let's talk about the actual battle round.
Okay.
You start off with an initiative phase. You roll off to determine who goes first. The Kill Team is set up so that all of the missions have a 2-player component and an up to 4-player component. So because of that, they use 2 dice for initiative instead of 1 to avoid roll-offs.
Mm-hmm.
They've done that before. I played a game of I forgot what it's called, but it's the 4-player Age of Sigmar. Also uses 2 dice for initiative.
Okay.
So it just makes sure that you have fewer people with the same numbers. You're still going to get 7s, but at least you have more variance that way.
Right.
So after you figure out who goes first, you have the movement phase. And in the movement phase, you still have a you go, I go, where you move all of your models. Whoever has initiative moves all of their models. Then the next initiative, they move all their models, and so on.
Yeah.
The only big difference is you actually charge in this phase as well.
Yeah, that was something that that I did not realize when we played our game. So that was something that was actually really cool. That's based off of the 40K rules now. That just do your charge while you're moving.
Yeah, it was really, really good. I really like that because it stops play. You can't shoot and charge in the same turn.
Right.
Which is really, really good. I think that helps in a game like this where you have so few models. Also, charging stops you from shooting altogether. So even if you have a pistol, you can't shoot if you charge or were charged that turn.
Got it.
Yeah. Also, there are still some units that can fly, but there are few of them.
Right.
There's some that functionally fly, like Reavers, like Space Marine Reavers, like
yeah,
like Harlequins. They just basically ignore vertical distance when they're moving. So that does still exist. So you got to keep that in mind. You can still fall back, but you can't fall back if you were charged or So it stops people from avoiding close combat. There would be a weird rules hole there if you did it. But there's the reaction, right? Like if someone charges you, you're Overwatch isn't your only option. You can also perform a 3-inch move.
Yeah, that was really cool. That was a mechanic that I was kind of not shocked by, but I was like, oh, okay, that's a great way to kind of get out of certain situations.
And you know what would be funny? Like, I can see myself at some point when someone charges me, I'll be like, okay, I'll take my 3-inch move. Closer.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know? Yes, indeed. Come into my parlor, said the spider to the fly.
Yeah, I mean, especially if you have an assault, oriented list. Yeah, run in there, get stuck in.
Well, it's an interesting tactic too. I just, if they're one of the command tactics, it allows a nearby friendly model to also fight.
Yeah.
In that combat. So if you have a friendly model nearby but not within actual combat range, maybe move your model so that they're touching that friendly model, so that your opponent will have no choice but to charge both of you.
Yeah.
And you'll be able to fight with both of those models. I think that'll be cool.
That's a cool little tactic. So
yeah. So that actually sounds like a lot of fun. So you have your reactions. I think if you do the movement reaction, there are some limitations on further movement, like you can't move again and whatnot.
Right.
But that's really cool. You can also not move a model and take the ready action instead, which gives you priority in later shooting phase. So charging units get to attack first in the combat phase, and readied models get to shoot first in the shooting phase, because this game has alternating activation in the other phases of the game, which is really, really interesting.
Yeah.
I never did a psychic phase.
Yeah, and I was playing Space Marines, and we don't have a psychic character that can be taken in this grouping. So I'm quite curious as to what's happening with the other armies.
Right. Yeah. Well, first of all, demons are not in it.
Yeah, I saw that.
Means the old pink horror death machine.
Yeah.
Does not exist right now. So that's good. They went with, and Sisters of Battle are also not represented. Right. I think very much what anything that can't easily be converted in, they're trying to promote a very mixed hobby experience for people. Also, if Sisters of Battle are getting new rules very soon, I don't see the point in putting effort into it at this point. I'm sure they'll get rules once they're released. It would be cool to see them in the codex.
Yeah. I
would like to see that, like kill team rules in new codexes when they come out. That would be super cool. We'll see.
Well, we're also missing the Inquisition.
Inquisition, yeah. Well, that's clear. They're not doing any characters.
Right.
So what's the point of an Inquisitional warband if you don't have an Inquisitor, right? So
right.
We have some special rules for that coming up towards the end of the episode. We have some custom rules to guide you. We didn't playtest them, I'm sorry, but it just kind of gives you our thoughts on how you would go ahead and do that.
Yeah.
So the psychic phase and the shooting phase and the assault phase, you basically take turns fighting with models. So in the shooting phase, you have priority if you readied. Then you go by who has initiative. So it'll be whoever has the highest initiative and readied shoots.
Yeah.
Then whoever has the next highest initiative and readied shoots. Then once all the readied models have shot, then you go by initiative again. So whoever didn't ready and has the highest initiative shoots, etc. So if you had to move to get into position, you're going to be waiting on people who didn't have to move.
Mm-hmm.
What else? Then we have there's a bunch of rules for cover. Cover is like minus to hit now instead of plus to the save.
Yeah.
I have yet to find a save modifier actually.
Okay.
Yeah, I really haven't. If you have a flesh wound, you have a minus to hit as well. But in this game, they specifically state that if you roll a 1 or a 6, it's an automatic miss or hit, respectively.
Okay. Yeah, I saw
So
that.
that's
The
cool.
automatic hits, which means for orcs, just add more DACA. So,
Yep. Yeah. Grenades are really good in this since everybody can shoot a grenade.
Yeah.
But they are very short ranged. And in this game, all models or all weapons that are at long range have a -1 to hit.
Mm-hmm.
And that modifier it comes into play at half range. So a grenade is only 6 inches, so you have a -1 to hit with that grenade out to, from 4 to 6 inches. So I think that long range rule is kind of genius. It's simple, easy to remember, but solves a lot of problems.
Mm-hmm.
Like people trying to snipe, I guess my Luda can snipe at 24 inches, but it's a Luda, so so he's hitting on 6s most of the time because you're gonna have cover.
Right.
So yeah, as long as you're obscured, you get cover. There's no area terrain in this, which is good because you want to go by at this level, at this granularity. You want to have. The terrain actually interact with your models.
Right. Yeah, I think I was thinking about this.
Have to be,
this would actually
go
be.
Ahead.
I was thinking about this. This would be like a really good setting for like a Zone Mortalis. Like you're not using the Zone Mortalis rules, but like if you've got a homebrew board that you've built, this is perfect because then you've maybe you have straightaways, you've got that full range, or maybe everything's short range because there are so many walls and whatnot. So there's all sorts of cool things that I can see with this. I would not run a kill team game on a board without terrain, though. I think that would be a bad idea. There we go. But hey, if it works with your narrative, who cares?
So we've got damaging models. Let's talk about that, dude, because that's like the big different thing, right?
Yeah.
That's what's kind of what makes Kill Team very different from just taking all of your models and splitting them into individual units.
Okay.
Because there needs to be a little more variance or less variance. Anyways, models need to be a little more survivable.
Yeah.
They need to stick around a little bit longer than just, it took a wound and I'm dead. So there's this whole flesh wound mechanic.
Yeah.
Where when you lose your last wound, you roll on the injury. You make an injury roll.
Mm-hmm.
On a 4+, your opponent makes the injury roll actually.
Yeah.
So on a 4+, you put somebody out of commission. They're out of action. You remove them from the battlefield. On a 1 through 3, they just take a flesh wound.
Yeah.
And they mark that on their sheet. Flesh wounds have a lot of effects in the game. One of them is it causes you to have a -1 to hit.
Mm-hmm.
I think for each one in most cases.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah, I think so. I'd have to check it out. But where there's no need to get into the minutiae. We're just talking about the game and how it plays.
Yeah.
So also a model with a flesh wound has to take nerve tests at the end of the phase, at the end of the round as well. No matter when they had the flesh wound, as long as they have a flesh wound, they have to take the check because they lose their nerve.
Yeah.
So once you've gotten 3 flesh wounds, you're automatically out of action. You can't consider flesh wounds to be like wounds, like additional wounds, because if you take 6 damage from one attack,
yeah,
it's still just 1 flesh wound if you take a flesh wound.
Yeah, yeah.
However, if however much damage you take greater than your last wound, your opponent gets to roll that many dice to figure out whether you're out of action. So, let's say for example that a missile launcher. I don't think there are any missile launchers in the game, but let's just say for the sake of argument,
I've got a better example. I know where to go with this. So let's say, for instance, your Melta your Meltamarine has, there's a reason we're laughing about this, has shot a grot directly in the face with the Melt-A-Gun.
Good times.
Did this happen?
Good times. Yeah, let's
Yes.
say a Melt-A-Gunner shoots a grot directly in his face, and he rolls a d6 for the amount of damage he does,
and gets the 6.
So let's say
Let's
say he gets a 6.
Yeah.
Gets a 6. What he's going to do is he's going to roll. The grot only has 1 wound, so he has to take he has to roll for a flesh wound for that last wound plus 5 more. So your opponent would roll 6 dice to determine. He would have 4. They would have 6 chances to roll a 4+ to put that grot out of action.
Yep.
Yeah. So that grot, if you did roll above a 4 on any of those 6 dice, the grot will be removed. If all of those dice roll a 1 through a 3, the grot simply takes a flesh wound, which is fine. That's totally going to happen. So that's how that works. That was a great example, Jason. That was a great example to use.
Well, it was just so listeners know, it was the only target the Melt-A-Guy had. And there was no way I wasn't shooting something. And, Adam laughed at me. He's like, are you really going to do that? And I said, yeah, because
why
our buddy
not,
Phil...
Right? It's not like it's a plasma gun.
Yeah, our buddy Phil would want the grot to go. So...
Mm-hmm. And, I thought I was... we'll talk about list building later. Not like super competitive list building segment, obviously, but we'll talk about it later. So the fight phase is very similar. There's a Hammer of Wrath rule, which basically means everybody who charged goes first.
Yeah.
In the same way that everybody who readied gets to go first, but you still take turns. You go, you move a model, or you fight with a model, I fight with a model. You fight with a model, I fight with a model, but it's all the models that charged first.
Yeah.
Then you fight with everybody else. It's exactly the same as in 40K.
Yeah.
You pile in, you fight with a weapon, and that's it. There is no subsequent. There is a consolidate. That's right. I forgot. We talked about this. It's a very small section, but it's exactly the same as in 40K. You must move closer to the closest enemy model. Which means you can tie people up just like in 40K. Yeah,
which you did to me in the game. So
yes, I did.
Yes, you did.
Well, bolters are scary as hell.
Well, yeah,
pistols are scary as hell. If you listen to our Altar of War episode on the Freebooters Network, you could get an idea of how scary pistols can be.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, have a listen. It's funny.
Yeah, I haven't started editing that yet. I'll go listen to that tonight.
Cool. We have a morale phase, which, okay, so this is the other huge different thing that can be hard to wrap your head around. I hope GW does a nice, like they did for Age of Sigmar.
Mm-hmm.
I hope they have the people who did that really nice informative video. I forgot her name, but she's a regular kind of games announcer, and they had her do Age of Sigmar. It was a really cool informative video.
Okay.
So anyways, the morale phase is a little confusing. So first you check to see if your team is broken. Your team will automatically be broken if everybody's messed up.
Yeah.
There's no term that they use for messed up. Instead they say if all models in a kill team currently have flesh wounds, are shaken, or are out of action, it is broken. So if everybody is in some way messed up, you automatically break.
Yeah.
Otherwise, if half of your members are messed up, you have to check on a 2d6. You roll 2d6 and check against the highest leadership in the team. So for me, it would be my knob with leadership 7.
Mm-hmm. For
you, I think your veteran sergeant was 9. Maybe?
It was 8. It was 8.
Pretty sure it was 8.
Yeah.
So your highest would be 8. So if half of the people are messed up, you roll. If everybody's messed up, you automatically are. once you're broken, everybody needs to take nerve tests instead of just the people who have flesh wounds. So after you check to see if you're broken, you remove all your shaken tokens. Mm-hmm. Because the next part of the morale phase is you take nerve tests. If each model that either has a flesh wound, each model that has a flesh wound needs to take a nerve test, and it's basically a single dice leadership test. We'll get into that in a second. Now, if your kill team is broken, then everybody needs to take a nerve test.
Yeah.
There are a few modifiers to this nerve test because clearly on one dice some models are automatically going to pass. You know, if you have a leadership of 7, you're automatically going to pass this.
Yeah.
However, for each model in your team, each friendly model that is shaken or out of action, so it's a cascading test. So the more that are shaken, the worse it becomes. So it behooves you to kind of start with your leader, maybe. Mm-hmm. So for each model that is shaken or out of action, you have a +1 on your nerve test.
Got it.
So that's the problem with taking grots sometimes. If you have 4 grots out of action, that's a +4 to a test.
Oh.
So D6 +4 for leadership is real bad.
Yeah.
However, you get a -1 to the check for every other friendly model other than shaken models within 2 inches. So, this helps if you're clumped up. So again, this is also something you do that's good for having grots. So grots are kind of a double-edged sword. If you lose a bunch of them, you're going to have pluses to this test that you're trying to get under your leadership.
Right.
But if you have a bunch of grots nearby, they basically become a +1 leadership bonus.
Okay. Interesting.
Because there's safety in numbers.
Yeah.
This is why I think that the communications guy is so good, because he automatically gives you a +1 across the board because he has that. He's in your ear the whole time, reassuring you.
Yeah. So,
at any rate, you add a shaken token next to the model if it fails, and there are a model that is shaken can't do anything. Mm-hmm. They don't get to move. They don't get to fight. They don't get to shoot. They get to do nothing. So you can imagine if you're taking nerve tests for your whole army, and only and they start cascading these failures, it can get real bad.
Yeah, I remember in 6th edition Kill Team that after you drop down to 50%, then you started rolling for each individual model to see if they flee the battlefield. And that always got kind of dicey because you drop down to 50% pretty quick, and then you could lose the game on on many bad dice rolls. And that's how all these games are. But it's interesting how they're expanding the morale phase and changing it a little bit. I definitely would want some clarification because I read through that and I was like, there's. When exactly do you check for broken?
Mm-hmm.
It's
this avoids Alpha Strike nonsense.
Yeah,
you can't just bottle out turn 1, which you want quick games, but you don't want them that quick.
That's right. That is correct.
So I like this. This is the morale phase is clunky, but way better.
Yeah.
So I strongly recommend you read through this again. I hope that our explanation helps you out. Again, I'm just gonna quickly go over it again. Mm-hmm. So you check to see if the team is broken. If everybody's messed up, you automatically broken. If half of you are messed up, you roll. Otherwise, you don't have to roll. You remove your shaken tokens off all the models that are shaken. Then you take nerve tests for each individual model to see if they become shaken.
Yeah.
+1 for every friendly model that is out of action or shaken. And then a -1 for every friendly model within 2 inches of the model that's taking the nerve test. If you are shaken, you do not get to act. So, those are the rules.
Yeah.
It's basically 40K otherwise, so there's no point in really going into anything else.
Right.
Because it's 40K. And they did that on purpose. People were, the D10, what's the D10 for? The D10 is for the campaign phase. It's for all the fun rolls where that normally a D66 is annoying for because you have a bell curve. You have a bell curve on a D66.
Yeah.
Which is annoying. You don't need, but they wanted more options than just 6. So adding a D10 really helps with that. And we'll talk about that in a little bit when we start talking about campaigns. Another thing that's different in this edition is the specialists. This is the way they've done it is about 5,000 times better than a random roll. I know that folks do the random roll is fun.
Yeah.
But well, first of all, for matched play, it's terrible. But also for narrative play, it's also terrible because I personally am not a big fan of random things that don't need to be random.
Right.
Like, I love random events. Random events are cool. Random things happening on the battlefield, awesome, because those are things that are random.
Right.
Or at least they are eventualities that you have no control over, and in reality you have eventualities that you have no control over. However, if you want to train somebody in a specific skill, you're not going to randomly train them in a specific skill. You're going to actually train them in that skill.
Right.
So I very much prefer the method that they're using here. For each each kind of unit type has a list of specialisms they're allowed to choose. And each of those has a tree that you can follow to figure out what you want to be with your life. And each of these specialisms has a specific tactic that they're allowed to use during the game. So we have generic ones. Decisive move, decisive strike, insane bravery, decisive shot, tactical reroll, and gritted teeth are all the generic tactics you're allowed to use during the game with your command points. And you get 1 command point per turn. It's very much like Age of Sigmar 2. I think they learned a lesson from 40K.
Mm-hmm.
And I would not be surprised if we started seeing maybe in the next General's Handbook something change with 40K in regards to how command points are done, because they are very much favoring 1 command point per turn,
right,
or plus a bonus at the start of the game based on certain factors, instead of just a load of command points at the start of the game that can be used on an alpha strike. So you get 1 command point per turn. You get bonus 1 command point for having your commander alive, because that's their specialist. The leader specialist is plus 1 command point if they're alive at the start of the turn. Then you get plus 1 at the start of the game if you're under by 10 points.
Mm-hmm.
So that's nice. You get a little bonus for coming in under points, which can happen in a campaign game as you start losing members and not having enough models, or if your opponent is high level. But anyways, you have the leader specialist. You must have, well, I don't know if you get the leader specialist in your team. And they, like I said, they have the plus 1 command point as long as they're alive. Plus, at each level, you can have up to 3 levels. You have up to 4 levels, but only 3 are detailed, because the 4th level you get to pick any other tactic or any other specialism you want. So normally it's a tree. You have a level 1, and then you have 2 level 2 choices, and then you have each of those level 2 choices has an additional 2 level 3 choices. And then when you reach level 4, you're allowed to pick any of the other ones that you haven't chosen already.
Okay.
Let's use the leader as an example, Jason. We're not going to go over all of these. I just want to show people what you get for leveling up.
Okay.
All right. So the level 1 passive ability we've already discussed. It's the bonus command point. The level 1 tactic is called Lead by Example. You choose another friendly model within 3 inches of the leader, and they're allowed to fight at the same time as your leader. So that allows you to fight with that model out of order. So say, for example, you charge with your leader, and you're in combat with an enemy model. And you also choose to charge with another model, but they fail. All right.
Okay.
So then let's say that your opponent charges that model instead. So they're gonna end up fighting getting attacked by that charging model.
Okay. Yeah.
You can use this tactic as long as they're still within 3 inches of your commander.
Yeah.
When your commander fights, that model is allowed to fight at the same time. So that will go before the enemy model who charged.
Okay.
So yeah, that's really nice. Or, even if they both charged, it's nice that they both get to attack before the enemy model does. And that's only 1 command point. And then leader level 2, you can choose to either go bold or inspiring. I'm going to follow the bold tree first.
Okay.
This model automatically passes nerve tests. So your leader will never, unless there's some weird spell or ability, that model will never be shaken. He automatically passes nerve tests. Also at level 2, no matter which tree you choose, you get the fire on my target command tactic. Mm-hmm. So they pick a unit that is within a model that's within 3 inches of them that can shoot. They can make a shooting attack with both of those models before the next player's turn. So when your commander shoots, somebody within 3 inches of them can shoot. That's only 1 command point. Normally shooting out of order is 2 command points, but your commander being there makes it only 1 command point.
Oh, okay.
And they still have to be nearby. They still have to be within 3 inches. So the level 3 bold splits off into either Paragon or Tyrant. So Paragon allows you to reroll hit rolls of 1 for friendly models within 3 inches, as long as it is not shaken. I don't know why. Oh, that model. Okay, so I'm like, why they can't be shaken? But I think they mean the model that you're ordering.
Oh, okay. So it overrides that.
Yeah. So and that's a passive ability. So they reroll hits rolls of 1. Or with Tyrant, your opponent must add 1 to nerve test for any enemy models within 6 inches of this model, as long as it is not shaken. So they have +1 to nerve tests within 6 inches of your commander,
mm-hmm.
who can't be shaken. So there must be some other ability that makes you shaken besides nerve tests. So yeah, that's really good.
Yeah.
So those are the 2, and then at level 4 you get to pick something maybe from the other tree or whatever. So the other tree, the level 2 ability, is inspiring. Friendly models within 3 inches, as long as it is not shaken, automatically pass nerve tests. So instead of you never being shaken, models within 3 inches are never shaken from nerve tests.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
So it doesn't go through. Okay.
Yeah, then level 3 is either Tactician or Mentor. So Tactician is, as long as this model is on the battlefield and not shaken, roll a d6 anytime you use a tactic. On a 5+, you gain a command point. So they have command point regeneration, which is really nice. Because you still get to hold on to your command points if you don't use them.
Okay, yeah.
Mentor is once per battle round when you choose a friendly model within 3 inches of this model to shoot in the shooting phase. As long as this model is not shaken, you can reroll failed to hit rolls for that model until the end of the phase. So instead of rerolling ones for all friendly models within 3 inches, you reroll all hits for one model within 3 inches. So it's like somebody they've taken under their wing, basically. The level 3 tactic is called Force of Will. 1 command point. Use this tactic at the start of your battle round. If a leader of level 3 or higher from your kill team is on the battlefield and not shaken, in this battle round your kill team does not suffer the penalty for being broken. So that could be really, really good late in the game.
Mm-hmm.
Where just for 1 command point, you might not have everybody taking tests, which is really, really cool.
That is pretty cool. I mean, 1 command point, just burning it for that's actually kind of a big deal, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yep. So you're allowed to have 3 other specialists in your team.
Mm-hmm.
You can have a combat specialist.
Right.
A comm specialist. The combat specialist is obvious. It fights well. The comm specialist is interesting. The comm specialist deals with nerve tests and tactical movement and stuff. It's really interesting. One of my favorites is the Vox Hacker, which is a level 3 at the end of the tree. After each battle in which this model was in your kill team, if this model is not in convalescence or dead, roll a d6. On a 5+, you gain 1 intelligence. So that model was patching into the enemy communications and learning about their activities.
Oh, that's interesting. That could be fun. Yeah.
The Demolition Specialists have something similar where they're allowed to increase the number of material that your team gets. Of course, we haven't talked about campaigns yet and what those materials and stuff are, but we will in a moment. Right. So you have demolitions, you have heavy. The heavy is mostly for models that have heavy weapons.
Right.
You have medics, scouts, snipers, veterans, and zealots. I had a zealot Burna. It was really funny. Because they are super zealots. I've been getting into arguments online with people about people who say that the mech from the Burna squad is not a Burna.
Oh.
I'm like, how? I dare you to shoot something with a custom Mega Blasta and not set it on fire. Stop it.
Yeah.
And actually in this book it lists that mech as a Burna mech. It's great.
Well, it's funny because I mean we've both have seen the rules. You've seen more than I have, but we've both seen these rules, and we see people that are just saying whatever online, and we can't say anything about it because we're not allowed to.
Burna Spanner and Luda Spanner, because emotionally they are still Burnas and Ludas.
That's right.
And that is still their purpose. Anyways, whatever. Yeah, like a Burna Spanner can still be a zealot.
Yeah.
The only difference is he's allowed to be a comms guy, which is cool. Okay, so that's the specialisms. I don't want to like I said, I don't want to detail too much. It's just showing you how fun it can be, how cool it can be, and I like that in particular. Now let's talk about running a campaign, or let's talk about building a kill team itself.
Yeah. So with building a kill team, you're given, if I remember correctly, it's 100 points, and that would be the kind of base model. I'm sure that in your own games, if you want your teams to be 150 or 200, run with it. Let's see. Maximum limits. So I'm assuming you mean like no more than 20 models.
No more than 20 models.
Yeah.
And no more than a certain number of each model.
Okay, yeah, that's right. Because, for instance, in the Death Watch list, I think you can take up to 4 gunners. I don't remember exactly. There is a set number of you can't have more than this. For the Space Marines, it's 1 sergeant, maximum of 2 gunners from the TAC Marines and whatnot. Bonus command.
Yeah, for the orcs, it's like maximum of 2 each. Two like orc boy gunners or whatever. Like maximum of, I think it's 2 mechs or 1 mech. Stuff like that.
Yeah. Okay, and let's see. Bonus command points. So, if you have a Battleforged list, and you may need to help me out with this, then you're given additional command points, right?
You get the 1 command point to start, but the bonus command points for having fewer points in your team.
Oh, that's right. So if you have, what was it? Was it 10 points less? If you have 10 points more than your opponent, then you get an extra command point, or
it's the other way around.
It's the other way around.
If your opponent has 10 more, than you get 1 more command point to make up for it.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that could be really interesting.
That's how they do it in Age of Sigmar too.
Oh, is that okay? I did not know that.
Yeah. But it's like 50 points or so in Age of Sigmar.
And
obviously.
With building a kill team, and this is something that I had to check and double check. In the old versions of Kill Team, you basically had to purchase the entire unit. So if you had 100 points, it was a tax squad, then you had 40 points left for something else. Now you can purchase the individual models. So for instance, my Deathwatch team will have an intercessor, I don't know, 15, 16, whatever, X amount of points. But then I can go through and then mix and match. I want to have 2 TAC Marines or 2 Death Guard vets, or maybe I want 2 gunners or something like that. Or if you're using the Space Marine Codex, which is actually not Codex but list, you can have like maybe 1 Reaver and a couple of sniper scouts and maybe a TAC Sergeant and an Intercessor. You can actually go through and pick 1 or 2 models from each. So it's not just here's your minimum 5-man unit or minimum 3-man unit. It actually is much more, what's what I'm looking for? It can be a much more varied unit than it used to be. Mm-hmm. For instance, what was your list? Can you talk about that?
Oh yeah, might as well. So for my list, here's an interesting thing. For a campaign, your roster can start with 12 members and can go beyond 20.
Okay.
The 20 limit is just for matched play, so that's good. My list was a commando boss knob with a power claw, 3 commandos, 2 Burnaboys, 1 Luda, 2 heavy weapon boys, and 3 or 4 grots. I can't quite remember. Like 3 or 4 grots to bolster their numbers. And that felt like a good team. The commandos are really cool because if they're obscured, they have a -2 to hit instead of a -1, which is pretty darn good in this game.
Yeah.
For sure.
And my list was boring. Sorry.
No, it was pretty cool.
Well, I mean, it was. I had a sergeant with the Combi Melta, attack Marine with attack Marine gunner, which means the gunner designation just means that they can carry a special or heavy weapon. So one of the gunners had a heavy bolter, the other gunner had a Melta gun, and then I think I had 3 or 4. I think I had 4 other TAC Marines. So I was able to get 7 tactical Marines in there, but I could have added an intercessor or snipers or etc. I didn't because we were playing through Tabletop Simulator, and some of that stuff is there. I was going to play Raven Guard, but I could not find Combi Meltas. And I also there was something else I couldn't find, and so I just went back to the Blood Raven content that I had downloaded and went from there.
All right, cool. Let's start talking about campaigns, and we can merge from the actual kill team building into running a campaign by also like talking about the differences between the campaign game kill teams and the standard match play. In either one, you need so I forgot about this. Each model only has one faction keyword in kill team. So for example, all the Adeptus Astartes, the only faction keyword they have is Adeptus Astartes. There's no Imperium, there's no Eldari. And all the models have to share a keyword, so there's no way of really mixing Imperium in this. It's really meant to be one cohesive unit of models. Okay. Mm-hmm. Also, we have this is full of awesome tables for narrative play. You can pick if you want to, but I think that rolling for this is super fun. Now, when Josh and I played, we did re-roll a couple of these so it would make a little bit more sense.
Right.
But to be honest, we didn't re-roll a whole lot. So there's a table for your kill team's background, which is a D10. Mm-hmm. So, for example, one of them is Sneaky Gits. This kill team firmly believes in attacking from unexpected quarters, not only thrilling, but good for laughs when they see the panic in their doomed enemy's eyes. There is literally no game rule mechanic that refers to that. What might be interesting, actually, is to roll on these tables before making your kill team.
Yeah, I was wondering about that because you'd send me pictures of that for the Space Marines, and their missions like Oath of Moment and Background, a Heroic Origin, and Squad Quirk, like a Codex Emphasis. And I think that, either you need to roll this first and then build your team, or maybe they can add rules for this? I don't know.
Maybe. I think it might be fun to do, like, if your opponent if you and your opponent think that your models expressed good character based on your background and everything, that maybe you would award, maybe if they went by their background, they would get +1 to one of their resources.
Right.
Then you have a mission. So this is their overall mission. So for the orcs, it's called the plan. For example, one of them is called Salvage. This kill team must pick over every fallen corpse and piece of machinery to grab everything they can find for the mechs. So, I wonder if you could use this like to determine who is. Just say, okay, this is what Josh and I did. By the way, we determined that since he had a specific mission in mind, that we determined he would be the attacker rather than a defender in one of our missions.
Oh,
because
okay.
it only made... I think it was the mission where he had to mess up my resources, because he had rolled that his Harlequins were very... that's what they loved to do. They loved causing havoc behind enemy lines and messing up their resources, so we decided that he would be the attacker in that mission because of that.
That's a good idea.
There's no codified rules for that, but it just makes sense. Actually, there are... normally in those missions, whoever has the most territory is the one who is the defender. But we decided to go with that instead.
Well, that's a narrative thing that can be done and should be done.
Yeah, if you're running a narrative campaign.
Yeah.
Then you have a Squad Quirk. For example, for orcs, one is itchy. Some sort of rash has been making even the orcs' leathery hides feel all scratchy, often at the least convenient times. So you can use that as an excuse when bad things happen. Maybe, I don't know. Or
that's kind of
maybe
gross.
you include... Yeah, it's super gross.
Yeah.
So each specialist also has a demeanor, which is another D10 table. For example, number 9, Foul Gob. None can challenge or taunt the foe with as much zeal and mockery as this orc. So, like, it's perfect. It's perfect. So maybe you make him your leader. And then you have a D66 orc name generator. And there's a table for the front bit and then the other bit. So if I were to make an orc right now, his name might be 16. Grod 63. Grod Bone Splitter. That's a great orc name. Good job.
Yeah.
So one of them is no other bit. So that like if I rolled a 23 for the other bit, his name would just be Snarkrat. Just Snarkrat. No other bit. So that's fun. And then each faction also has its own tactics as well.
Yeah.
FYI. So there are species specific tactics. So those are fun. You have your special demeanors and stuff. Also in a campaign is the concept of a fire team.
Yeah, I was going to ask about that.
These are groups of like-minded members. They can be disbanded and replaced at any time, even in the guerrilla factions. So, so you're only allowed to have 3 specialists on the field at a time, including your, in addition to your commander, in addition to your leader. So during a campaign, you might want to level up other teams should have some ability. And these still run on a random table. I believe you can only have each advance once. Yeah, each fire team can only... So say I have a group of my 3 commandos, right?
Yeah.
They don't have any special abilities. They're just commandos. So, if 2 or more of them survive a battle, they get an experience points. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
There's a series of checkboxes on the kill team roster and the kill team cards. There are cards on the back. It comes with cards, but there are also cards that you can print out. So after 3 experience, you get 1, and then after. So for each specialist, you have a series of boxes in there, and 2 are black, and then several are black, and some of them are lighter colored. And when you check off the lighter colored one, that's when you get a new level, and that's true for not just the specialists, but also for the fire teams. So if I get a level with my kill team or with my fire team of commandos, I would roll on the table, and I would refer to number 3, and they were courageous. They reroll failed nerve tests, and there's a bunch of them in there. You can be +1 movement. You can reroll save rolls of 1, etc. And they can get really, really good.
Mm-hmm.
They can be really cool. Now, I am not sure. I haven't really read into it. I feel like I'm not sure how you get additional specialists. I know you can have more than 1, but I haven't really read where you can add more specialists to your army. I know you can still only field 3 at a time, so you don't want to have too many. Right. You want to have just teams of fire teams in there as well, like advanced fire teams as well. So, also, in a campaign, each of these crack troops of fire team troops cost extra points for having those abilities, and the specialists also cost extra points. So if someone is doing really well in a campaign, their team is going to cost more than someone who is not doing well. And that person who's not doing well is going to get extra command points as a result.
Got it. Okay.
Do you want to talk about how the campaigns actually work? Like actual campaign games? So we have a random mission table, which is nice.
Yeah.
But I would like come up with maybe your own way of determining the missions.
Right.
You know? You could narratively talk about it with your opponent. If you do have a large group of people running a campaign, I guess the random table is really the only way to do it. Unless you pair people up and say, hey, just figure out the mission however you want, right?
Yeah, especially if you have some other people. I mean, they may have their own individual story that they want to tell with their team.
Yeah, if you're overly concerned about your mission, then maybe narrative play is not for you. So then we have the war effort, which that little section describes each of the resources that are in play in a campaign. Those are intelligence, which is spy networks, intelligence gathering, etc. Materiel, which is military resources, ammo, weapons. You're not going into the minutiae of, we have 3 bolters, we have 27 cases of bolter ammunition. Like, that would be too much.
Yeah.
You have morale, so that's the general like fighting spirit of your kill team, and you have territory, which is obvious. So each of these in a usual campaign, you would start with D6 plus 3.
Yeah.
Or you could just say 8 if you really wanted to just be on even kill. I prefer the D6 plus 3, but whatever. Then as you play games, the people who lose reduce those resources. You don't do a lot of gaining. You can see like some of the specialisms allow you to add 1 at the end of a game if something happens.
Mm-hmm.
But for the most part, you don't get any bonus points for winning. You lose points for losing.
Got it.
And
okay.
if you have 0 in all of your resources, you are a Guerrilla Faction. Guerrilla Factions can't add members. They can swap out members, but they can't add members. And they can still participate in the campaign, but they're probably not going to win.
Right. It's still possible, but probably not.
Yeah, it's still possible, but it's probably not going to happen. And they can basically be kingmakers of the campaign, which can be just as fun.
Yeah.
Basically, in most cases, in the default setting for campaigns is the last player standing who is not a Guerrilla Faction wins the campaign.
Okay.
So campaigns can go for a while. You can choose to set resources lower if you want a quicker campaign to last, like only a couple weeks.
Yeah.
But you're going to be playing for quite a while. Then again, you can get several games in per evening.
That is true.
Don't go to club night expecting only get 1 game in. You're going to hold everybody back. When Josh and I played, we started at 7:30, recorded a show. Like it's about an hour and 15 minutes of recording, plus a 20-minute screw up because I accidentally hit the space bar while we were recording and stopped recording. We had to re-record like 20 minutes.
Oh.
And I ordered pizza for him and wings for me, and we ate that. And we still had time to get 3 games in by noon 30.
Yeah. Yeah,
it's crazy.
That's nice. I mean, that's the reason why I really liked Kill Team in 6th edition and all the different versions of Kill Team that I've played is that you can crank out 2 games, 3 games, 4 games. Here's an extreme example. I went up one day that I had an entire day free, and I think I played about 9 or 10 games, you know, in the day. And that was, you know, with lunch in there and kind of messing around and not really being focused at times, and actually redoing every game was a new list, you know, and that was done probably in about 6 hours. So they are super fast games. So
yeah, it's really nice, and I think that the board size, the battlefield size, helps with that.
Yeah,
if you start increasing to 3 feet and 4 feet, it just gets. You're just. What are you? You're just kind of positioning and repositioning, and your opponent has an opportunity to run away even more, which you don't want. That you don't want to be chasing people around the board like that.
Right.
It just drags things out.
So as a quick refresher, what is the size again on the board? Was it about 2 feet by 2.5 feet?
Yeah, it's like 30 inches by 20 something inches. It's not huge. It's just the right size to fit the terrain that they give you.
Okay.
You know, we're going to talk about the box set in the next segment. I'll go ahead and measure it in between segments, and I'll let you know.
All right, that'll work. Yeah.
So another one of the big differences in campaign games is you can do a strategic withdrawal. I guess you could probably do that in a regular game in a match play as well. You just say, I quit. But you automatically lose the mission. You can do it after turn 3.
Yeah.
You're allowed to withdraw if you feel like you're going to lose anyways. You probably want to save some of your members from being murdered.
Yeah.
So you can do a strategic withdrawal. Every member with a flesh wound, like if you have a flesh wound, you're still standing, but it's possible to still go out of action while escaping through strategic withdrawal. Right. So you roll on your opponent rolls, and on a 4+, they are out of action. So then, after you roll for the flesh wounded people to see if they go out of action, then you roll on the casualty table for each member that went out of action. It's rare that they will actually die. They could also go into convalescence. They could just recover. They can also gain an additional experience point for having learned from their horrible experience, which is really cool. So you'll do that after every scenario. You'll also take the hits to your resources. Every specialist gets +1 experience point, and they get another experience point if they used one of their specialism tactics.
Okay.
So you want to keep that in mind as you play, and also mark it down if you do. Fire teams get +1 XP if 2 or more survived. After that, you can add 1 member to a fire team, or create a new start a new fire team with a new recruit.
Okay.
New recruits don't get special abilities, and they must be accompanied by a senior member in the next mission.
Okay. That's interesting.
That's really it. It's in a nutshell. It's fairly simple, and it should be, especially if you're talking about running an entire game club through a kill team campaign. Let the players add whatever complexity they want to their games. I think like if you want to have random roaming monsters and stuff, let them figure that out. You don't have to dictate that kind of stuff.
This is interesting. I'm really quite taken by these ideas of adding members of the fire team, you know, during the scenario, going through and adding that, because it does go. One of the things with the matched play is that I was thinking is, yeah, here's your 5 to 20 guys, you know, that you always have, but this actually allows more of an expansion, so you could actually take more models that you may have built and kit bashed and lovingly painted, etc. And this,
and you don't have to like. Again, you're not limited to 20. You can have 40 models in your roster.
Yeah,
you just can't bring that many in a team. That's all.
Yeah. Okay, that's going to be interesting. I'm looking forward to whenever I can get my hands on the rules, so I can really sit down and think about what I could do, how I could use the stuff that I already have. I've got a nice sized Blood Raven army. I've got a large Raven Guard army now, and this could really, help that a lot.
Yeah, Josh and I played a short campaign, but I think some of the guys here will wanna start a campaign as well. So
Yeah.
I think what we'll do is I think we definitely want to circle back on Kill Team for sure.
Oh yeah,
and talk more about campaigns and all that. So at the very least, I think we need to do another episode on campaigns and maybe have more missions and stuff for the listeners and more advice on that. So I'm gonna start. I think I'm gonna start a campaign here before too long.
Yeah,
and we'll add that to our mix of Age of Sigmar and stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean, that would be great. I could see the list. I mean, I'd be really interested in hearing about this. I'm sure the listeners would be as well.
Well, the cool thing is you can participate, right? Like,
yeah.
That's the cool thing about this. Through Tabletop Simulator, we can run a campaign if we want to.
Yeah,
we can try out new rules. We can try out new scenarios, and I can set them up ahead of time, or through the with the terrain they have available in that box. I'm gonna mess with the table that we played with, and see if I can't find a better way to mark out the proper size and stuff like that. Yeah, super fun. So Jason, do you want to take another quick break?
Yeah,
we'll come back. We'll talk about what comes in the box set. We'll talk about some modeling and WYSIWYG, and also have a bit of a brainstorm session about how to improve some of the stuff for narrative play, and maybe talk a little bit about some house rules that we have already and what we have coming up for our own hobby progress with Kill Team.
Greetings, mofos.
Are you out of George Dickel number 8, staring at a broken chess machine?
Well, don't want to spend the rest of the year tied to that couch?
Well, why don't you head on over to the 1 Hour a Night Facebook page and see what exciting stuff is going on there. It's a place to post all your daily progress in the hobby grind, as well as receive and give positive feedback. Also, there are usually a few interesting challenges going on.
That's right. All you have to do is search for 1 Hour a Night on Facebook. That's numeral 1 Hour a Night, all one word. Blood serum tests will be administered prior to approval.
Sett til helvete og kom dere vekk. Det er ikke en bikkje, det er en slags ting. Den imiterer en bikkje, men det er ikke det. Kom dere vekk, idioter!
What he said.
Come here, boy, get the ball. Come on, Max, get the ball. Mom, Max won't get the ball. He's lazy.
I think I know why your Zote is being lazy, Jenny.
Why, Mom?
Because you forgot to feed him Zotabix today.
Oh, no.
Oh, yes, Zotabix contains all the nutrients and random animal parts a growing Zote craves. It not only provides our Zote with the energy it needs to play with you and protect our home, but it also keeps its chitinous shell fresh and shiny.
Oh, boy, I'd better feed Max his Zotabix.
Yes, you had.
Zotabix is made in part from grade
Max,
A
time for
Astra
dinner.
Militarum post-engagement byproduct and is infused with 112 essential vitamins
No,
and
Max,
minerals
down.
harvested from your Zote's natural habitat, the finest desert devils.
Ah!
Zotabix is available in any shopping center on worlds where Zotes are allowed or where the Imperium's inexorable influence has not yet reached. Hey, Masters of the Forge listeners, are you looking to expand your Warhammer 40,000 gaming group?
Do you want to start a 40k club in your area?
Do you want the people you attract to be like-minded mofos?
Do you want to advertise your YouTube channel?
Or even attract more subscribers to your hobby blog or online community?
Then what better way than to advertise on the Masters of the Forge podcast?
All we ask of you is that you email us at mastersoftheforge@gmail.com or message us on Facebook with a full text of your advertisement, including the region in which you live and any contact information people can use to get a hold of you.
We will have one of our many tech servitors read your advertisement on the air. We promise not to make fun of you.
Though we can't always predict the actions of our servitors, you really can't find good help these days.
No, you can't.
And we're back. So, let's talk about what you get in the box. Okay.
Yeah.
It's a lot. It's a heavy box. I'm surprised that passed all proper drop tests, because I have a feeling if I dropped that from waist height, it would explode.
Yeah.
It's a sturdy box, though, so maybe not. So it comes with the Adeptus Mechanicus Skitari troops.
Mm-hmm.
The full complement of them in fancy red plastic. It comes with a unit of Genestealer Cult. And I really think that they chose to use those not for any specific thematic purpose, but because they are among the most detailed infantry kits in their stable.
Okay, yeah.
You can modify those with many different weapons, many different like head swaps, little bits, little bobs, all kinds of stuff in those kits. And I think that's why they chose those. They're very modern kits. They have good instructions. They have decent rules. Like I feel like I think that was the main driving force behind choosing those.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that sounds like a good idea.
Yeah. So you also get a pants load of terrain. Like,
yeah,
that terrain easily gives you a field of terrain that allows you to have good line of sight blocking,
right,
and good breaking up of movement vectors on the board they give you, and or you can use it to build one giant building, like one giant ruin. It really is, maybe with like an outer wall. It can be really nice for making that centerpiece model that you've always wanted for your army or for your battlefield.
You had mentioned what was it, that it's a new terrain kit. It's
brand new,
modular. It's a little bit.
It's very modular.
It's the same scale, but it's a little bit different. Correct?
Yeah, it's compatible, but it's constructed a little bit differently. So remember back in the day when I don't know if you've ever tried building a enclosed building with the old Sector Imperialis and Sector Mechanicus terrain.
I did try that, and I quickly said that was a bad idea.
Yeah, it doesn't line up, actually. There's something about the corner pieces that makes it actually impossible to line up perfectly.
Yeah.
That will not happen with this. This is designed to make it easy for hobbyists to make complete buildings or to make ruins and mix and match at their pleasure. I do not own any of the new Mechanicus terrain pieces, but I would be very surprised to find that they are not compatible as well. Mm-hmm. I would assume that they are in some ways, because they are Gothic ruins, but they are definitely futuristic Gothic ruins. They've got machinery sticking out of the panels and stuff that have been removed. They're iron cross members and lamps you can put underneath.
Right.
And there's also places where it's like circular features on the sides with fans, where I'm certain you are meant to stick on the Prometheum relay pipes or whatever. And things like that, like circular bits that might be in other kits. Okay. So I'd be very interested to see how they mix and match. I definitely want to pick up the Orc one. The Orc, like, booster, I guess.
Oh, yeah.
It comes with 5 Burna Ludas and comes with some of the newer Mechanicus terrain, so it'd be interesting to see. I've always wanted some of that anyways, and it's only $60, so I'm definitely going to go for that. It also comes with orc cards, which is nice.
No, that's nice.
But this main set comes with a lot of good like quality cardboard pieces. So one of them being the board, which during the break I did go out back and I measured it. It's 30 inches by like a little over 22 inches.
Okay.
So it's a decent size. You can put it on a coffee table. You can put it on any game table, like any of the standard Rubbermaid like tournament tables. You can use it with. And
right.
I think that was definitely on purpose. But I caution people from using bigger sized battlefields. I think it's not meant for that. I think the game is designed to be used on this sized board. Okay.
Yeah.
Or at least be careful when you do it. It comes with tokens for both factions. So this game, it's so much easier if you have moved tokens, charged tokens, shot tokens, like tokens that say you've actually already shot, because it's alternating activation. You have to remember who actually shot and moved and everything, and sometimes that can be hard to do. So like if you reacted, if somebody tried to charge you, for example, and you reacted by moving away, you really should put a move token next to that model so you remember not to move them when it's your turn to move.
Oh, okay, yeah.
It can be very, and since shooting is alternating, it really helps to put down say you have 3 models with bolters standing there. It can be tough to remember which of those 3 models have shot already, if not all of them.
Right.
So having those shot tokens is really nice too. I recommend that people check that out. It also comes with cards for each of the both of the factions that are in the box. You get special cards for all of their unit types. You also get blank roster cards.
Okay.
Or, blank character cards for you can just write on them. And even if you run out of those, you have a page in the rulebook that you can photocopy.
Oh, okay, that's nice.
Of those cards, you can cut it out or just use it. You also get a roster in the back for use either in matched play and in campaign play. Get the whole roster for your entire army. It also comes with all the rules, so it comes with the rule book with all the factions in it. Again, not every single Warhammer 40,000 faction is represented. That was just not possible with this release. That's okay. There's so many that are represented that I don't see anybody having trouble playing this game. If you only collect the one faction that wasn't included, I'm sorry. This game is probably not for you.
Well, they're going to expand as well.
They're going to expand it, but I think you're going to want to come up with your own. Use this as an opportunity to try something new.
Right.
That's what I'm going to do. I want to try something new. It comes with a poster. All of the starter kits, by the way, have come with a cool poster lately. So
okay.
Renegade came with one. I don't know what happened to the one that came with Soul Wars. I'm a little annoyed that I don't have that anymore. Because I was thinking about getting them framed.
Yeah.
This one came with one as well. It's really cool, and it is a standard poster size. It's a elongated poster size, but it is a standard size that you can get at Michael's.
Oh, okay.
So you go to Michael's and you can get one for like $7, and you can frame your cool poster for $7. It's worth it. Yeah, it comes with it comes with dice. It comes with a little ruler that you're not going to use, but you know what? You might in this one you might, but you still have distances longer than 12 inches. So.
Yeah,
but it's super fun. It's a nice box. It comes with a lot of stuff. You know what it doesn't come with, Jason? It doesn't come with templates.
Aww.
Oh, the way you do multiple target.
Hold on. What about scatter die?
No scatter die. Sorry. It when you shoot with a multi-shot weapon, you can declare that you're targeting. So like you declare a primary target, and you can also target models within 2 inches of that model. So say I have a flamer that does D3. I can hit the primary target with 1, and each of its adjacent buddies as well with 1 each. So it's a really nice box. I like it. It's good. So you say you're going to pick one up. I'll probably send you these Gene Stealer Cult, right? We talked about that.
Yeah.
And stuff. I'll send you all the tokens and everything that goes with them, and I'll send you some of the terrain too. It's really nice terrain. I definitely recommend it for anybody. I built it and painted it. I think I could do a better paint job. You can go balls to the wall with that terrain.
Yeah.
It's got a lot of details, and I'm like, I don't know how much I want to put into this. It could get crazy, but it's one of those things where you can dry brush it and it looks good. And I block painted out the machinery and did some dry brushes and washes on those,
right,
to give them a little bit more, and like had the kind of the rust dripping down on the walls or whatever.
Yeah.
But there's so many recesses and stuff that like dragging your brush down, you're gonna skip over spots, like almost like a dry brush would. Right. So you have to kind of get in there with your brush and get under it and drag down. And so I missed some of those spots, so it just kind of looks like it's skipped. So I need to fix that, but it looks good. It's certainly serviceable, and I painted it kind of to look a little bit like my brown board there, to kind of look like it's been sitting out in the middle of the wastelands for a little bit. So it's got a little brownish tinge to it. Dry brush some of that Ushabti bone on there. Then kind of on the ground level, I actually dry brushed a little Ungor flesh to kind of yellow it up a little bit more even, and then used what is it? A Doombull brown for the base coats on the rust.
Okay.
And then dry brushed over that with Squig orange, and then some Squig orange. I don't think Squig orange is made anymore. You'll have to look up what it really is. And I actually, for my rust streaks, where is it? I used a dark metallic color, Warpalock bronze.
Okay, yeah.
It's a darker metallic, and I use it. It almost seems black on the model, but it does have the sparkle.
Yeah.
And then I use brass scorpion over top that, just a little light brush of that. So that's kind of what I have going on. I'm gonna kind of leave it alone though for a little while, and I think that'll be fine. I have so much more to do. I can't go too crazy into it, but it's good. It's good terrain. It sticks together real nice. You're gonna like putting that together. It's a nice quiet evening of assembly. So let's talk about modeling your kill team.
Yeah, that's what could be really interesting. How you could make your own kill team. Well, yours.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's a lot of examples online. Like, people are going crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, was it the community, the Warhammer community team is putting up a lot of stuff. They put up stuff from Peachy, right?
Yeah, Peachy put up some really cool, like, his dudes have plumes on their hats and stuff.
Yeah.
Like some kind of, like, noble guard or whatever.
Yeah. Did Duncan someone put up some sort of chaos group, but I'm trying to remember who it was. They're cultists that had been converted, but I don't remember who it is now.
Oh, cool. It doesn't matter. Yeah. I mean, as long as you follow, like, go on there and, like, start following the one or two people you know, and then just, like, follow the people they follow, and you'll eventually have a large number of the community team that you're following. They have a lot of really cool stuff out there, and you can share your own stuff, and maybe they'll post it on the Facebook or whatever.
Yeah.
So you've been working on some of that stuff, like you've been doing like your Vox casters and
Right.
stuff.
Yeah, I was thinking of, all sorts of cool stuff that we could do, specifically with Space Marines, because that's my main force. I was thinking for the comms guy, have a Vox caster that's been attached to like a Space Marine power pack. Demolitions, I'm not super sure what to do there that doesn't involve covering them in melta-bombs and whatnot. I'll have to think about that one. Sniper, maybe add a sniper rifle or a large scope or something that kind of gives you that idea. The heavy character, and it's a heavy weapon. If you should probably put that ability on the guy running.
What about the Death Watch box? Like some of the weapons from that, even if you're running just regular Space Marines. What about the Death Watch heavy weapons? Can any of those kind of look like special, cool, like heavy weapons that you could just have on a regular Space Marine guy?
So Death Watch. The Death Watch list is specifically the Death Watch veterans from the book, and so they can take the Infernus heavy pistol or heavy bolter, which is heavy bolter with a flamer attached, or they can take the frag cannon, and those are already in the kits. If you want to go through and kit bash something like that to make your own, you could do that.
Okay.
But with heavy
cool.
weapons, it's for Kill Team, it's, I'm trying to remember exactly, I think it's just a heavy bolter and I can't remember what the other one is.
Yeah, but heavy bolter is a really cool weapon for Kill Team, though. Like, you don't want to go too like a las cannon isn't really going to get you far.
No.
In Kill Team, you're going to kill a dude.
Yeah.
And that's not helpful.
No, it's not. And then, I think there was a veteran keyword, and you can get that out of a Stern Guard kit. There's a scout keyword, which more than likely you take a Reaver or you take a scout because those are scouts essentially. And then you'd have a leader, which that can be more Stern Guard bits. Give them a mohawk, give them some sort of maybe give them a regular no helmet option, or maybe there's some sort of pieces from the command squad that you can use. Like I used, there's this backpack topper that I used for mine just because it would make a good leader, a good way for someone to say, oh yeah, that's the leader. So.
Right. The Kill Team can have a tactical Marine could be equipped with a missile launcher. So
that's the other one. Okay. I don't have a whole lot of missile launchers modeled, and so it's not something I always... I don't know, it's not always something I think of. I think maybe the 7th edition rules and 6th edition rules make me look at missile launcher and go, no, I'm good.
Yeah. I love the Astra Militarum because you have you have so many options with them. You can have all kind, like you can use Age of Sigmar models, you can go for third party models like
like Anvil Industries.
What's her name? Well, no, I was thinking Victoria Lamb has so many wonderful characterful models in her range that would go great for Kill Team. Of course, you have Forge World, obviously, which sounds really awesome.
Yeah,
I heard the guys on the Splintermind podcast talk about maybe using the Dark Elf Blood Bowl team in 40K. You could use the Dark Elf Blood Bowl team as a really awesome force of Harlequins or Dark Elves in Kill Team.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like Blood Bowl has some pretty cool stuff as well. So I would love to see some stuff like that. I would say some of the Karajan Overlords models might be great for a Kill Team. The Grunstock Thunderers all have these interesting heavy weapons. Some of those heavy weapons, like the default heavy weapon, isn't actually like a big heavy weapon. It looks more like a rifle. So you could use those guys for any. They're pretty heavily armored, so I would almost go for some kind of Adeptus Astartes, like Space Wolves or something like that in Kill Team. So they're really awesome. Orcs. I mean, geez, you have so many models.
Yeah.
I was talking to somebody today. If you want to do like freebooters, you can take some of the bits from the what are they called? They got the snaz guns, whatever.
Yeah,
they're the pirates basically. They have like pirate heads and
parrots,
stuff like that. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Speaking of that, you can get some cool mascots for your Kill Team models by looking at the Age of Sigmar line, because now like all these models have started to get weird, fun mascots, like or even 40k. Like Yvrain comes with the Grinix cat.
Yeah.
But there's things like dogs and stuff, and I think the new Rogue Trader is going to have dogs and stuff that you can use, like Cyber Mastiffs. The old, if you have the Graves, the gravesite kit, the graveyard kit.
Oh yeah.
For Age of Sigmar, that comes with ravens that are meant to be put on the terrain.
Oh.
You can put a raven on your character's shoulder. There's a new bird. There's a new like eagle bird that's for Age of Sigmar for the Stormcast Eternals.
Mm-hmm.
You could put one of those, like if you have like an outstretched hand, you can put the bird like tethered to the hand about to like fly off or whatever.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So there's so many great ways to make your characters more unique and characterful. I love Kill Team for that. You can put hours of work into one team and feel great about it.
Right. Yeah, do some really cool stuff there. That's always fun.
All right. So what do you think we could do to enhance some of these scenarios and like campaign play? I think the first thing that comes to mind is the resources, right?
Yeah, that could be something we could look at. Maybe there's let me think about this. Maybe there's a situation where they're actually able to regenerate resources, because before it's always been a negative, but maybe this is how you can go through and maybe expand or extend stuff to be a little bit longer.
Yeah, you could, if you wanted to go for a campaign that's just as long, but add more ways to make the flow of resources positive from time to time, to add more special rules to your campaign. Maybe start people off at fewer resources and add ways of gaining resources. Certainly for units that it makes sense for, things like Tech Marines and Ludas can generate more material. Maybe if you have characters who have chaplain abilities, or healing abilities, they can help add morale to the equation and stuff like that.
Right.
Maybe adding terrain features that generate those things, like objectives. That could work. You could use the terrain as a way of generating these abilities. I know that Necromunda has rules for innocent bystanders. I think innocent bystanders isn't a bad way to add some character to the game, and add more resources as time. You can either shake them down for their money.
Yeah.
And stuff, or kidnap them.
Yeah.
For ransom, whatever. Like that kind of thing would be cool. Literally taking territory, obviously. Information is also important. Like, you could have a courier of some kind, maybe, added to the game. You can capture the courier to add some intelligence. Things like that. Again, this would be a terrain thing as well. You could have like computer terminals and stuff that allow you to increase your intelligence, or just very specific intelligence, right? Like
Yeah.
a campaign doesn't. You don't have to use the resources in your campaigns. You could actually have a GM run campaign where the resources or the objectives of the campaign are very, very, very specific, and you could play out a story. You can role play. There's nothing stopping you from doing that, for sure.
Yeah.
So, all right. I think a tree mission selection maybe based off of resources. So maybe you're more likely to get a specific mission. Like maybe you're more likely to do a raid if you're low on resources and your opponent has lots of resources.
Oh, yes. So basically, you're looking for certain conditions, and that mission would be triggered just because of that. Yeah, that would actually be a really good idea.
That would be a good thing to add in the future. Maybe we should think about that as one of the things we look at for special rules in the future.
Yeah.
If Games Workshop doesn't do it themselves. Although everything you need to play a campaign is here. It's not like the Necromunda where things were kind of split up from book to book. Everything is included here, so you don't have to collect multiple books to get what you need to play the campaign, which is nice.
Yeah, that is nice.
Right. So, having said that, we did come up with some special rules.
Yeah.
We're gonna have a downloadable PDF on the website as usual, and in the show notes if you want to use them. One thing that people have been asking for is the use of characters. Now, I personally agree that leaving out characters was a really good idea.
Yeah.
For this game, particularly in matched play. I think when we get to, when we do get the release of, we haven't received anything, so this is just conjecture. I'm always worried about conjecture.
Yeah.
Now because we get stuff ahead of time.
Yeah.
But I think when we get the Rogue Trader, I'm sure there's characters in there. You can't have a game called Rogue Trader and not have a Rogue Trader character.
Yeah,
so
it doesn't work that way. Yeah.
No, I think we're going to get character rules eventually, but for now, I would say, in narrative play, you can ignore the faction keyword of your character.
Yeah.
Because you're going to want to use Inquisitors and stuff.
Right.
For points, I would say if you have a character, I would maybe increase the points to like 125 or 150.
Yeah, that's...
They already kind of discuss increasing points later in the book somewhere, but if you have a character who's like 50 points, 60 points, you're going to want to have a good solid team around them, so I would say whatever you think is best for having a regular size kill team plus a character is a good idea. If you do that, I would say both players should have a character. Because... if you have one person with a single model that's like 50 to 70 points, and the other person's going to have 5 to 10 more models than them, and you don't want that. That's not fun. That character is going to be a liability anyways. And then for model points, I would use the points values in the actual index or codex instead of the upgrade points in Kill Team. So if they have a Power Fist, I would use the points for the Power Fist in their codex instead of the points for Power Fist in Kill Team.
Okay, yeah.
Because I think they're balanced for that.
The numbers are pretty close.
They are close.
I don't know how close because I don't pay attention to some of the 40k numbers, but they look very, very close.
For the orcs, it's only 1 point more for a big shooter.
Okay, yeah.
Because they're limited to only 2 of them. So I think that the number limitations are a balance factor more than the points are in Kill Team.
Yeah.
I only added one rule called Lookout so that you could avoid that character getting punked out so early in the game, because their points value is based on, in 40k, you can't shoot them. So, but instead of saying that in Kill Team, as long as they're within 3 inches of any other friendly model, you have a -1 to hit them.
Yeah.
In the shooting phase. That's all. I haven't play tested that. I think it might work. It works in Age of Sigmar, but you never know in Kill Team whether that'll be helpful or not.
Yeah, the thing is that, that's... Try it out. Let's see what happens.
Yeah, try it out. Maybe we need to forego the automatic hit on a 6 for them.
Yeah, that was what I was thinking, because orcs, basically, what are they? They're 5 up anyway.
They're 6 to hit anyways, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. We also came up with... I've been discussing this with people online, like, specifically we were talking about how cool it would be to... People were like, oh, you can't... They were joking, right? You can't take Imperial Knights and Kill Team? That's garbage. But I was like, you know what would be fun?
What?
It's a joke. But I was thinking, what if you could take a Armiger and you played like a cooperative game trying to kill an Armiger?
Now that would be fun. That could be really interesting. Yeah.
So my thought was to have a mission called Monster Hunt, where you basically do a big boss battle. So I set it up so like you have a kill team in each corner, and you have the monster set up in the middle. And when you set up the terrain, you have basically a path, like a rails path for that monster to go down the middle. I would set up the terrain so that at least the monster can get through certain areas.
Right.
And I set up rules like, if you try to run away and the monster can't get you, the monster automatically runs away and you lose the game.
Got it.
So I put in a bunch of logic for the monster, and you've basically kind of joined forces because this monster's wreaking havoc in territory, right? Neither of you can take this territory because the monster's there. So you're meant to be working cooperatively. The resources at the end, if any team that fails to do any damage to the quarry and or loses their leader, loses 2 morale. If the teams in general fail to kill it, everybody loses 3 territory. Because that territory now belongs to the monster.
Yeah.
So it's a serious thing. Like, you never know. And I would say if you're doing a campaign at your store, maybe impose that territory penalty to everyone, even people who didn't engage in the battle, because that's the entire region is affected by this loss. It would be kind of like a world event type situation,
right? And then you could maybe run, a variation of this, or rerun it again after you've lost all that territory.
Give them a chance to recoup their losses. I also created some tactics, some tactics for the quarry, like 1 command point to regain D3 wounds. 1 command point called brachiation that allows them to ignore vertical distance when moving or charging. So that way, if anybody's being cheeky and sitting there with a sniper, the monster can go roar and climb up and attack them like Godzilla, or not like Godzilla, like King Kong or something.
Right.
Then 3 command point, one for the kill teams that called Goad, that the quarry must move D6 inches directly towards one of the player's team members as they throw Molotov cocktails at the monster or whatever and force it to run.
Going to throw rocks at you. Yeah.
So, folks, if you have any other ideas for other special rules we could use for kill teams, let us know, and we'll work on it for the next kill team episode we do. Again, we're gonna definitely do more kill team episodes, maybe certainly with missions, maybe with some special rules and stuff like that. So that should be fun.
Yeah, definitely.
Looking forward to it. Okay, so Jason, I think long episode.
Yeah.
Why don't we do a quick talk about what we're going to do next? Like, what do we want to do for Kill Team?
Yeah, okay. So what I'm doing next, or what I've thought about, I'm wanting to go ahead and build multiple kill teams using, basically I've got a few kits, like I've got the Forge Bane box, so I've got some Necrons in there, and I've got Mechanicus in there. And I thought, I can go ahead and build those. I've got the old kill team box that was Raven Guard and Tau, and I still haven't built or painted the Tau yet. So there, I've got that. I can maybe do Skitarii, Necrons, Nids. I've got a whole bunch of Orc boys in my closet of shame. I don't know. It's not that big, so whatever. I can maybe do more Death Watch. I'm considering doing a Mantis Warriors list. Well, not considering, I've already started on it, but using the Death Watch rules so that they're all Mantis Warriors, but they're all vets of the Death Watch. So I can use some of those Death Watch, those really cool weapons, but in a Mantis Warriors thing, which will go in with my Ordo Chronos Inquisitor and whatnot. But I'm going to definitely consult the rules before I build any of this because, the game has changed and the unit selection has changed, and I'm still figuring out what do I need to do. So, what about you, man? What are you thinking about?
So there are some projects that I've wanted to do in the past, and I still have yet to kind of pull the trigger on.
Right.
Makes it tough. We have lots going on, and I think it would be fun to maybe use some of these squat models, or sorry, these Caradron Overlord models to do like a Space Marines or something.
Right.
Also, I have some additional like Mark III or Mark IV armor from the plastic kits. It's Mark IV, right?
Mark IV for
Betrayal at Cal.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I have a bunch of Mark IV armor, and I've been thinking about doing the Swords of Epiphany Chaos Space Marines. They're the Chaos Space Marines that came from the Black Dragons in David Annandale's novel.
Oh yeah.
So they're like the bright gold Chaos Space Marines. So I was thinking about taking some of that Mark IV armor and some of the Chaos Space Marine bits I have and making like golden Chaos Space Marines with them. And I kind of wanted to do a whole project, but I don't think I have time to do a whole nother Chaos Space Marines army. And I don't think there's a whole lot of those guys left.
No.
If I'm being 100% honest. I think most of those guys died in that story. If not all of them, I would just say, hey, I'm just going to say some of these guys lived.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I think I'm gonna do some of those, and I actually have some cultists left over that I haven't made.
Right.
There's just a few cultists that are just like duplicates of dudes. So what I think I might do is I might make some cultists and some Chaos Space Marines for the Swords of Epiphany.
Yeah.
And I think that'll be fun. I've already got plenty of Skitarii. Well, okay. I have three or four sprues of Skitarii to build for a proper Skitarii, but I've got enough painted that I can do kill teams. But I don't have any Sakaran Ruststalkers or Sakaran infiltrators. Yeah. The ones that look like R2-D2, whatever. The ones with the R2-D2 heads. Those are the ones I want. Because they're awesome, and they have taser goads, which who doesn't want something called a taser goad that's like a long pitchfork that you stab people with? It's amazing. So I'm probably going to buy a box. I've been putting off buying a box of those for a while. I'll probably buy a box of those just for Kill Team because it's awesome. And that's it. I think that's good enough for keeping me entertained for a little while anyways.
Yeah. Yeah, so basically what we're thinking of is, creating small kill teams for stuff we've been wanting to do, but we don't want to devote a full army to, Going through and buying a troop box or two, not a big deal, and you have a nice little army. So I think that's what kill team will really do for your modeling and whatnot.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what you should definitely think about using it for. Now, granted, you're like, oh, but the thing I've always wanted to do is Ogren. Well, you know what? Oh, well. All right. Oh, well. Think of something else that you've been wanting to do instead of your Ogren army or whatever.
Yeah, and there's no telling what's going to happen whenever we get expansions.
Exactly.
And I'll be real honest. Ogren would go really well with an Inquisitor.
It's true. And, I'm glad they're taking their time with it.
Yeah, I am too.
And making sure these things are balanced before shoving it all out there. So let's keep a positive mind about it, and let's have some fun with the new game and learn the new game, and maybe we'll see what more. Even if Games Workshop doesn't produce every single model for every single thing, if you want to see something, let us know, and we'll work together to create something awesome.
Yeah.
For your narrative games.
That's right.
Jason, you want to take a break? And
let's
we'll
go
come
ahead.
back and close out the sheet.
Yeah, let's take a break.
Hey Archons, tired of the boring predictability and efficiency of stuff that always works? You need the Slip Party Bus! Got an extra 473 points that you can't find a solid use for? You need the Slip Party Bus! You could spend 420 points on 3 reliable Lance Ravagers pumping out 9 Dark Lance shots per turn that'll only give up 3 victory points, or you can drop 473 points on 2 Archons, 8 Slip, and a Raider for 11 victory points. You need the Slip Party Bus! The classic Slip Party Bus. Still awesome. Party Bus! Still hilarious. Party Bus! It's the Slip Party Bus! If you love the Slip Party Bus, you'll want to check out our other exciting products. We have the Rack Wiffle Ball Bat, the Trueborn, and the Blood Bride. Trueborn and Blood Bride models no longer available. The classic Slith Party Bus, still awesome, still hilarious. It's the Slith Party Bus!
Break! Don't forget, everybody. We need you to make those donations to the Nova Open Charitable Foundation, and that it's just such a good cause. Keep your eyes open for the Freebooters Toys for Tots charity that John and Mike and I are working on. It will be really, really sad if we don't get good ROI on that faux show. Jason, I am tired. My voice is...
You're dying, aren't you?
But I'm dying. I have so much more to do today, too. I have family now coming over to swim in our pool.
Oh, yeah. You've got a busy day today.
Now I'm entertaining, so that's pretty sweet. Wendy, when I told Wendy, she gave me a look like murder was going to happen, so I might not be alive for the next episode.
I'm sure it'll be okay.
Our next episode is going to be about Great Wolf, Space Wolf Great Companies.
Yes.
We've heard that Space Wolves are coming. I don't know when.
Yeah.
But we're gonna head it off at the pass and do a Space Wolf episode, at least narratively, even if we don't get the book earlier than we would like. We'll at least talk about Space Wolves.
That's right. Woof woof.
Bark bark. Whoop whoop. Whoop, whoop. Whoop, whoop. It'll be in the vein of our Necron episode where we talked about
the dynasties.
So we're just going to go through each Space Wolf Great Company in detail. We're not going to belabor anything else. We're just going to talk about the great companies. I think that'll be fun.
Yeah.
Cool.
So
until what?
Oh, no. Hold on. Remember, if you want to find us, we are on iTunes. Leave a nice review. We have a website, mastersoftheforge.com. We are on Facebook. Look for hashtag Masters of the Forge on Instagram. Did I miss anything?
The internet is stupid. Don't go on the internet.
Well, besides the obvious. But I guess until next time,
drink your Ovaltine.
Play the game the way you want to.
Via con Dios.
Bye, y'all.
This podcast is protected by the Creative Commons Attribution, No Derivatives, Non-Commercial International License. More information about this license and contact information if you have any requests can be found at our blog, mastersoftheforge.com. The music used in this podcast was made by Podod of the duo Sublevel 3. The track is used with his permission.
It's such a good feeling to play games your way. It's such a happy feeling 40K'ing away. And when you throw dice with story in mind, it's such a wonderful way to unwind. It's a good feeling, a very good feeling, the feeling you know that we'll be back when the fortnight's new, and we'll have new ideas for you, and you'll have things you'll want to talk about. We will too.